By High-Grade Food Products Corporation, makers of Ballpark Franks, the Franks that plump when you cook them, West Virginia brand ham, bacon and sausage, and Grillmaster Chicken Franks. Now, from ringside, here are Bruce Martin and Sid Abel.
Hello, everybody, and we greet you from the Boston Gardens, where this afternoon the Detroit Red Wings are going to see if they can break an 8-game losing streak against a pretty tough team to do it with, Sid Abel, the Boston Bruins.
Well, you know, they haven't won a game in this building since December 1976. So they have a lot of work ahead of them, Bruce.
Well, the Boston Bruins are hurting a little bit. A couple, 3 players out of their lineup. The Red Wings will be playing without Jim Schoenfeld under new coach Billy Day. And in a moment or two, we're going to be talking to one of the young men who perhaps has been one of the few highlights of the season, Mark Osborne. We're going to be talking to Billy Day. Sid is going to be talking the situation over with the Boston coach. We'll be back with all of that after this.
Guess what I got, Harry?
The Detroit Red Wing organization as a player, you've been in and out a couple of times, but you've seen the very good days of the Red Wings, and you've seen some that haven't been so good. Now, I imagine that you have been placed into as difficult a position as you've had over that period of time.
Well, I guess difficult could be a word, Bruce. I don't like to think about it as that. I was given a assignment or a job to do for the rest of the season, and I'm going to do my best to do it and kind of worry about what happens after that.
Billy, you've watched very closely this Red Wing hockey team. There are a lot of us who feel that really the personnel of the club is not nearly so bad as their record.
Well, I agree with that, Bruce. And I think, if Wayne Maxson was here, too, he'd agree, too, that the club has been disappointed. Who's going to take the blame? I mean, that's not for me to say for sure, but I think that our record should be much better. We're weak in a few departments, as you well know. You see all the games, but, we have some good hockey players in this club, and we have some talent. And I don't think it's going to take too much to really turn it around.
Jimmy Skinner took a great deal of criticism over recent times, but it's pretty much an hindsight criticism over the Buffalo-Detroit trade. But then when you stop to think about it, and we've done this a few times, out of the 3 players that were actually traded, Schoenfeld, Derek Smith, and Danny Gare, you haven't had much playing time out of them, considering the fact that Gare, of course, with pneumonia, Schoenfeld, who throws himself in front of a puck every time he has a chance, and, of course, what's the other one? The sinus condition of Derek Smith. You haven't had the good use of them.
Well, it's very true, Bruce, and it's kind of been disappointing because, as everybody well knows, we don't have a lot of depth, and, when you lose guys like Gary, you just cannot replace them, and, he was just starting to get going for us, and, he's a leader, he's a type of a forechecking type player that kind of, the way he plays kind of spreads around the team, and, I just, we just all feel bad about losing him for such a long period of time. Derek Smith, poor Derek, has just been out of the hospital with that sinus condition. Now he's 15 pounds underweight, and it's just hoping he'll bounce back next year because I think Derek's a good national leaguer.
Billy, one of the problems you've had this season too has been third period play. The Red Wings have not been able to really put it together in third period. Maybe if you'd played evenly in third period, you might be fighting for playoffs right now. Of course, the first thing that jumps into your mind is, are they indeed in condition?
Well, personally, Bruce, that never entered my mind. Our club is in good a condition as anybody. I really believe that. Of course, being on the ice with them every day, I know how much they work and what they do. And I don't really think to me, it's strictly a mental factor that, Donnie Graham was, looked back in the records, and we had 13 games where we had 2-goal lead going into the third period, and we never won one of them. And it's just shameful, really. 13 points or even ties would put us right up in there. And it's probably been one of our reasons, and boy, I don't mean to stand here and pass the buck on anybody and what the reason was, but that is something that's got to be worked on, and that is one of the reasons maybe that Wayne is not here, but I'm sure I'm not trying to say that I'm going to turn around in 10 games, but it's a big factor. It's really a big factor.
Billy, I don't know exactly what your future with the Red Wings holds because I know you don't either as far as that's concerned, but I sure hope we see you around here for a good long time. I wish you continued success the rest of this season, or maybe success, I should say. And, just the best of everything to you.
Well, thank you, Bruce.
Well, Sid Abel will be back with the head coach of the Boston Bruins, Jerry Cheevers, after we pause now for this.
This is a Little Caesars Pizza editorial.
The Boston Bruins right here in this building. Now your second year of coaching and in a battle with Buffalo to finish second. How important is it to the Boston Bruins to finish ahead of Buffalo?
Well, certainly the obvious is the home ice advantage, but I'm not really a believer in that. It's I feel to win any series in the NHL, you have to win on the road. I don't think you can just hope to win by winning all your home games. And we've had good success against Buffalo in Buffalo, so I'm not really concerned from that vantage point too. But I just think it's important for our team. We got a lot of young players to know that we, you know, for 3/4 of the year we challenged Montreal, who's a very good team, and we all know that Buffalo's a very good team. And if we can end up ahead of them, then we've done well. We've accomplished probably what we maybe we didn't feel we could accomplish, but thought we could.
Now here we are with 11 games to play, and your club has come up with some serious injuries. Terry O'Reilly out with a bad shoulder. You lost your leading goal scorer, Middleton, with a bad shoulder, and you get young Fergus out with a knee injury. Can you play over your injuries?
Geez, I wish you wouldn't have reminded me before the game here, but it's, you know, any good team has to win with injuries, as you know, and I feel that we have good depth, and I feel that we've competed at a top level all year because of our depth. We've had little nagging injuries throughout the year, and we've sort of survived with them. This is of a major proportion right now with Terry and Ricky, two of our, you know, Terry's had a super year, and we all know what kind of year Ricky's had, and we just have to dig down and I think play. We've been good defensively all year. We've checked well, but we just have to dig down and check a little harder and take advantage of our chances to score.
Jerry, this is one of the hotbeds for high school hockey, college hockey. The Bruins have been very successful coming up with American kids. Just how important is an American boy playing here in Boston? Do you try to get one, say, from this area to be on the Bruins?
Well, I'm not so sure we try to get one from this area, but if one pops up and is available, it's certainly a plus for the Boston Bruins and the organization. But I think what it does really is the success of the Bruins over the year. It's really sort of catalyzed the American high school kids and college kids. They have a good chance in hockey, and certainly if a decent player come on and we had a chance at him, we'd certainly take it because, like, to repeat myself, I know how important is the Bruins organization. But, you know, we have Nobury, Mike O'Connell on our team, and, you know, in the past we had Bobby Miller, all local kids, and I think it's really exciting, and I think it's really maintained our popularity with the Boston scene, and hockey's really good in Boston right now. We've gone through the high school playoffs in the last month, and they packed the Gardens here. Last night the ECACs packed the Gardens, and I'm sure tonight the Gardens will be packed. So it's just a great hotbed for hockey, and I think it's due to the fact, one of the reasons is the local kids being involved in it.
Jerry Cheevers, thanks ever so much. Very best of luck in the upcoming playoffs. We'll be forward for Boston.
All right, thanks very much.
And now let's go back to Al Blade and Mark Osborne after this commercial.
Hello, I'm Al Blade. One of the bright spots this season for the Red Wings is their rookie and leading scorer, Mark Osborne. Mark was drafted in the summer of 1980, played one more year in juniors, and this year in his first full year in the National Hockey League. He leads the Red Wings in their scoring category, and Mark, congratulations. And is this a familiar spot for you? Have you always been a big goal scorer?
No, this is something new to me. I was more of a defensive player back in junior, and you know, coming along right now and scoring goals and assists, it's something really new to me, and I'm just happy to do it.
Mark, your last year in juniors, your scoring was very good, and also in the playoffs with Adirondack last spring, and now this year things are going well for you. What turned things around for you?
I don't really know. It's hard to say. A few people have told me I can shoot the puck all right, and they said I should try to shoot it as often as I can, and I've been doing that, and the puck's been going in the net, and it's just something that happens, I guess.
But to put that puck in the net, you need help, and you've got a couple of pretty good line mates, Walt McKechnie and Jody Gage. Let's talk about them, and first of all, the veteran McKechnie.
Oh, very good. Well, I've been playing with Walt the whole year, and he's just helped me tremendously. You know, he's been in the league for a number of years, you know, 13 to be exact, and he's just helped me so much around the boards, you know, my defensive play, my play in their end, and passing, and just various things. And
is he talking to you all the time out there?
Oh, yeah, tremendously. You know, I get the puck around the boards, and Walt will be, you know, yelling for it, and I think communication's really been our asset.
I've had the pleasure this year to play with Mark Osborne. We've had a lot of fun on the ice and off the ice. Mark's got a great sense of humor, and he's very coachable. He's always asking questions, always wanting to improve his game, and I think he's got a great future in the National Hockey League.
Jody, you know, came up and they put us together, and we've been together so far. And you know, Jody's he's a great player, and he handles the puck really well, and we get along good. That really helps. And
I've been playing with Mark Osborne for about a month and a half now, and it's been very exciting being with Walt and Mark, you know, with a bit of experience in youth. And what I think about Mark is he's a complete hockey player. You know, got the great skating abilities. He's strong. You know, he can fire the puck. He scores the goals, gets the points, and one of the main things, he's not very selfish. You know, like he's a complete team man.
It looks like you put on a little bit of weight, but I understand back like when you were in a midget, just going into juniors, that you really didn't get picked or drafted to go into juniors. You had to go looking for a team yourself because you were underweight.
Yeah, I was, in midget, I was one of the smallest guys on that team, and that summer before I tried out for junior, I don't know, I just grew, and eventually through my years at junior, I put on some weight, and I started lifting a little bit of weights. And
Do you have any trouble with that now, or are you on a special kind of diet?
No, I don't lose weight or put on weight. I just seem to stay the same. I'm gonna, try to work out a lot more this summer and maybe put on a little more muscle and come back for next year.
Mark, if you're a general manager, how would you, and someone asked you what kind of a player is Mark Osborne, how would you describe yourself?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I describe myself more as a defensive player that goes up and down my wing, and I try to take my man out as much as possible, and that's about it, I guess.
Are you pleased with your style, or where do you want to improve most for next season?
I don't know. I kind of like to improve more as a team. Like, I don't know about my style. It seems that, as a team plays well, it seems that everyone plays well, and if there's anything in particular I'd like to improve on, it's probably more my play in our end. I'm supposed to be a defensive player, and lately that hasn't been a big asset for me, and I'd like to maybe improve on that.
Mark, congratulations on a great season. I hope that the second year is just a little bit better.
Thanks very much, Al.
Red Wings leading scorer, Mark Osborne. Bruce and Sid will be back with the start of today's game in just a moment.
Is his name, who has just sung the national anthem prior to the start of the game between the Detroit Red Wings and the Boston Bruins. Believe it or not, March 13th, the first time the Red Wings have been here in Boston. You took a quick look at the officials, the referee Dennis Morrell, the two linesmen Kevin Collins and Mark Perry. Now here's a look at Bob Sauvé, who's done the yeoman's share of work in the Detroit goal, as Gilles Gilbert continues to be bothered with that heavy rash that just won't let up on him this year. And at the opposite end of the rink, a young man that's pretty well taken over the goal, tending shores from Rogie Vachon, Marco Barron.
Got the fourth best goals against average in the National Hockey League, 3.18. 23-year-old kid, played very well for this club.
So we are about to get the hockey game underway. We do just that as the Boston Bruins in the white jerseys win the opening face-off. That's Bork. It's cleared ahead now to Keith Crowder. Crowder going into the corner deep in the Detroit zone. Bumped in along the boards by Greg Smith, but the Wings failed to get it out. Bork took the shot. Here's John Ogrodnik. He's up front with Netamansky and Nolan. Puck cleared off the skate of Netamansky. Willie Huber sends it up the right wing. Nolan takes a bump from Bork. Puck driven into the Detroit zone. Marcotte tried to center it. It was Ogrodnik that came back to make the defensive play. Willie Huber dropping it off now for Greg Smith, ahead to Netamansky. Vaslov Netamansky up the right side, lifts it in the air, bumps it into the Boston zone. This is O'Connell up the right wing for Crowder. Keith Crowder laying it into the Detroit zone. Back after it, John Barrett. He and Larson along the defense now. Barrett dropped it off for Blaisdell. Up the left wing for Eric Vail. And the Bruins forechecking. This is Eric Vail pulling away from McNab. His pass too far for Derek Smith. Smith takes it in, took the shot, and shot it over the top of the goal. As Smith got loose, and his shot about 6 inches over the top of the net. Now it's Larson playing it out in front, knocked away by Larry Melnick. Cleared back into the Detroit zone. Barrett cleared it away from McNab. Wayne Cashman trying to hold it in. Here's Derek Smith. Now Eric Vail. Vail over the line into the Boston zone. Smith into the corner after it. Derek Smith put it out in front. And Vail had the shot away. And a big save by Barron. Close call as Detroit had the pressure on. Brad Park bumped in along the boards. Pulls away from Vail. Now here's Park bringing it out to center ice. His pass to Cashman, the Boston captain, over the line. His pass knocked away. Mike Gillis. Gillis took the shot, and that went just wide of the open net. Here's Cashman with it. And it's broken up as Larson comes out with it. On the left wing now to Mark Osborne. Osborne took the shot from center ice, drilled it well right. Bruce Crowder, a brother of Keith, is on the ice now, number 32, laying it to the Detroit blue line. Back after it, Greg Smith. Smith's pass tipped away by Crowder. Trying to get loose with Pederson, but it's fired down the ice by Greg Smith, and there'll be an icing call against Detroit, the first stoppage of play, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, not only icing, but a penalty call to Detroit, Sid.
Well, Willie Huber hooked onto young Pederson and stopped him from going in towards the net. Wound up getting a hooking penalty.
So the linesman arms were raised in the icing call, and Willie Huber took the referee's call. He's up for hooking, 2 minutes, 31 seconds. So Boston has the first power play opportunity of the hockey game. Played deep in the corner. Pederson goes in after it. In behind the goal, that's Brad Park. Back on the line to O'Connell. Now Brad Park. He's playing up on a wing position on the power play. Here now is O'Connell. Park again. Now Park being watched closely. Played it back on the line to O'Connell. To Bork with a shot way wide. Puck came right out in front and cleared down the ice by Larson. They've used up a half a minute of the penalty time. Bork clears it ahead now to Park. He was checked by Larson. O'Connell turns it back in his own zone. Bruins have the extra man for 1:20. Keith Crowder over the line into the Detroit zone with Park. And that was Woods that knocked it away. Puck bouncing around. A shot deflected wide of the goal. Park trying to center it. Larson picks it up and shoots it the length of the ice. No score in the hockey game. We've played 3.5 minutes of the first period. Eric Bale came on to intercept. Killing time. Back now to Larson, and Reed Larson again plays it all the way to the Boston goal. Bork turns in behind his own goal. Now with the extra man, the Bruins move up the ice into the Detroit zone. That's Bork putting it right out in front. The save made. A loose puck is fired wide by Bork. Nolan drives it down the ice. What a chance for the Bruins. 30 seconds left now on the penalty time as O'Connell is in behind his own net. Up the right side, it got away from McNab, and Greg Smith lifts it back in. McConnell back in, rather McCrimmon back after it, knocked away from him. Here's O'Connell. Puck fired off to the side of the Detroit net, in behind the goal. They hold it, and the face-off will stay to the right of the Detroit goal. 13 seconds left in Huber's penalty.
They've just had the one scoring opportunity, and that was a fine rush by Claude Bork around the outside. Made his play across the middle. Sauvé had to be sharp to stop it from going in the net. The Wings have been doing a pretty good job of keeping their defense up, well up towards the blue line, stopping Boston from getting in dangerously close. This Bruins team play a swarming run-over type of hockey game. They'd rather run over you than go around you.
McCrimmon from the blue line. That shot deflected away. Kasper trying to hold it in, but Smith gets to it, and Greg Smith drives it back to the blue line. Brad McCrimmon with it. Now the penalty is over. Willie Huber comes back on, and Detroit is at full strength. Still no score in the hockey game. We near the 5-minute mark of the first period. John Ogrodnik, number 25 of the Wings, tips it along the boards. Puck didn't come out. Kasper holds it in for Boston. Here's Kasper moving it out in front, tipped away from him, and now Ogrodnik moves out. McKechnie hands it back to him over the line. Now McKechnie. He waited a moment, took the shot, and it was blocked by Kasper. Crowder let the puck slide back into the Detroit zone. They wave off the icing, so Larson will be back to play it. Reed Larson's pass now to Greg Jolly. Jolly tips it ahead. Nedemansky hands it off to Ogrodnik. Puck went into the Boston zone, cleared to the side, and back out center ice. Jolly. Greg Jolly up the right wing. That skipped away from Nolan. McCrimmon has it for Boston again. Now Hillier. Andy Hillier sending it out center ice. Nedemansky drove it back into the Boston end. Here's Ogrodnik, and his pass ended up behind Nolan, or that could have been dangerous. Red Wing player knocked down from behind was Nolan. Puck picked up. Gillis fires the shot, and Sauvé grabs onto that. Up the left side now for John Ogrodnik. His pass broken up by Cashman. Brad Park feeds it ahead. Up on the left wing, Larson knocked it away. Following up over the line, Larry Melnick. Melnick heads toward the corner. He's got Krushelinski out in front of the goal. Now here's Cashman with it in behind the Detroit net. Centered it. Krushelinski took the shot wide. Good play by Cashman. But the Boston rookie shot it way wide of the Detroit goal. Now here's Derek Smith. He's checked at center ice. Following up Greg Smith over the line. Greg Smith banned on the shot. Play stays in the circle. Dumped in behind the goal. Gillis on the boards on the left side. Clearing it ahead to Cashman. Now Wayne Cashman bringing it out center ice. Played it behind Gillis. Puck stolen away by Larson. Here's Larson. He took the shot. That deflected wide of the goal. Derek Smith and Cashman. Cashman comes up with it. Up on the left wing, Gillis feeds it along the center ice zone. Knocked away by the wings. Larson ahead, too far for Vail. They'll call this icing, but if Vail gets there first, it'll wave it off. He didn't, and the play is stopped. So with still no score in the game, we pause for this.
This Bud's for the people who make the tough jobs all part of a day's work.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Veteran Wayne Cashman with a puck behind the Bruin net, or Red Wing net, a perfect pass out to Krushelinski, and he shot it just a little too soon. He didn't get a hold of it real good and shot it wide.
Mark Osborne of the wings, clearing in behind his own goal for Greg Smith. Smith had trouble with it there, picks it up a second time. Now Greg Smith dropped it off for Huber. He just lifts it up in the air. Shoots it down the ice, and Ray Bork comes back after it. McKechnie all over him. Bork drives it out center ice. Look out, here's Bruce Crowder. Crowder fired the shot, deflected away by Huber, who broke his stick on it. Now the play still deep in the zone. McKechnie made the check. Sauve stopped that drive by Bork. Huber still without a stick. That's Pederson in behind the goal. Levier tries to get to it. He does. Turned around. The puck still now. Huber without a stick knocked Crowder to the ice, and that brought the roar of the crowd, and that well could have been a penalty. Instead, it's an icing call against Detroit.
Well, Dennis Morrell, the referee, let that go. Willie Huber had to play about 30 seconds without a stick, and he was wrapped all around his player, but got away with it.
Red Wings will be at home for 2 games next week at the Joe Louis Arena. On Thursday, the Wings play host to St. Louis. Everyone receives a free Red Wings team photo poster. Then Saturday, the Chicago Blackhawks Fan Appreciation Night. The first 7,000 youngsters 16 and under receive a free Red Wing souvenir, and a drawing will be held for the adults to win free TVs, FM, AM cassette player, Polaroid cameras, outdoor grills, toaster ovens, cross-country skis. Both games start at 7:30. Sauve makes the save. Right from the face-off, play stays to the right of the Detroit goal.
There's the importance of these face-offs. The puck comes right back out to the point man, and a low screen shot right under Bob Sauve's pads, and he just went down on his hands and knees. Stoppage of play.
Bruins have outshot the Wings 4-1. There is no score in the hockey game. Mark Curtin is waved out of the face-off circle. Paul Woods comes in to meet Kasper. Number 11, Steve Kasper, made his name here in Boston. He just shadowed Wayne Gretzky in Gretzky's hottest part of the season and kept him right off the board. That's
He's a pretty good-looking player, young Kasper.
Now Marcotte turned around right at the line, moving it back in. Here's Danny Gare. He's not supposed to be playing this soon, but the Wings are short players, and he's right back into the lineup. It's got to be a little weak. Play came out in front of the Boston goal. The Bruins bring it out. 3-man rush. Kasper checked at the line by Barrett, and the play went into the Detroit end offside.
Well, just Danny Gare being out there helps the hockey club, Bruce, with his experience. He no doubt will take very short shifts. He gives it his all, but he has been in the hospital for a week with viral pneumonia. Just started skating.
I don't think he had any idea he'd be playing this soon.
No, had Schoenfeld not injured his knee, I would think that Danny Gare would have been sitting back in Detroit watching it on TV, but...
Now here's Netamansky clearing up the right side. Nolan played it in behind the Boston goal. Barron stops it there. McCrimmon in after it up the left side. Marcotte was checked by Jolly. Puck out at center ice. This is Nedemensky. Here's Greg Smith. Smith center ice pass. Ogrodny tipped it down the ice. Barron well out of the goal. Puck stopped at the line by Jolly. Greg Jolly with a shot right on the loose puck to the side of the net. A centering pass by Nolan, but covering up was Hillier. And the play whistled down, so still with no score, we pause for this. Both teams have had good scoring opportunities. Face-off stays to the left of the Boston goal. McNab, you saw, he's in against Nedemansky. Play ended up behind the Boston net. Melnick laid it up the right side to Cashman. Greg Smith turned him around. Here now Cashman going in behind his own goal. Left it right there. Melnick starts out. Now Larry Melnick brings it up the left side. His pass tipped into the Detroit zone. Sauvé comes out of the net. Played it into the corner for Nedemansky. Cashman beat him there. Here is Cashman. Checked in along the boards by Ogrodny. He pulled away from that. Into the corner again, Wayne Cashman. Now Cashman tried to play it out in front. He did, but covering up is Jolly. Greg Jolly ahead. The pass center ice, and Brad Park has it there. Gillis played it back in. Smith knocked it out, and the play in again is offside. And will come out over the Detroit blue line for the faceoff.
Well, just a few seconds ago, Ted Nolan come awful close to putting Detroit on the board first with a deflection, and then tried to put it in. And Ted wanted to say hello to his folks up in the Sioux. They watch this game on cable, I guess, Channel 50.
Now the play right at Detroit blue line, won by the wings. Barrett tips it into the Boston zone. Melnick goes back after it. In behind his own goal, drives it up the right side for Cashman. Wayne Cashman's pass, center ice broken up by Blaisdell. Here is Barrett. Barrett lost it. McNab sent it right to the Detroit goal. Barrett back after it. Now John Barrett ahead to Vail. Big Eric Vail over the line into the Boston zone. Cashman took it away. Wayne Cashman right back for Boston. Up the left side to Jonathan. Tipped back out center ice, and again brought in offside. Got half the Riom family here this afternoon, Sid. Dr. Chuck Riom in Detroit.
Yeah, Rick, Julie,
and
Ginny.
Nancy's wife.
Yeah, I want to say hi to the doctor, Nancy, back at Detroit.
Rick and Julie and Jean.
And we have Natasha and Scott Vail are watching their dad play today. So, and Eric has been coming on pretty strong in the last few games, playing very well, and the kids are watching this game on TV. So I hope their dad scores a goal for them.
Puck lifted back into the Boston zone. Bork goes into the corner after it, being checked there by McKechnie. The play comes out. Long right side pass. Bruce Crowder over the line. Dolly chases him in toward the corner. Now it'll be Reed Larson. Larson ahead now to Osborne. Here's Mark Osborne with a long shot, and that was deflected by Hillier well up into the crowd. And with still no score in the game, we'll pause now for this.
Everyone is trying to sell you an individual retirement account. Which is the right one? An IRA from the Michigan National Corporation banks. When you invest up to $2,000 a year, you want your money in a safe, secure financial institution. And Michigan National is $6 billion strong. Plus, you want more money for your money. And Michigan National continually pays a high interest rate. Come to Michigan National, where retirement planning is as easy as IRA.
Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel, our producer Toby Cunningham here in Boston, where the score is 0-0. We have 9 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the first period of the hockey game. This is Hillier moving out now. On the move, Barry Pederson played it over the line. Sauvé drove it along the boards. Crowder holds it in behind the net, digging in after it. Levier played it back toward the corner. McKechnie hands it off now to Larson. Reed Larson up the left side for Osborne. Ahead to Walter McKechnie. Now here's Osborne down the left wing, heading into the corner, trying to work his way around Hillier. Puck still bouncing around in the corner. Jody Gage gets into it. They hold it for a face-off to the right of the Boston goal. The excitement of college hockey comes back to town. The Joe Louis Arena hosts the Central Collegiate Hockey Association playoffs. That'll be tonight and tomorrow. There's doubleheader action both days beginning at 4 o'clock, so don't miss the CCHH That'll be tonight and tomorrow, or today and tomorrow, the Joe Louis Arena, sponsored by Ballpark Franks. Tickets on sale at all the Joe Louis box office, Hudson's, all the CTC outlets. Good collegiate hockey. Boy, they play a lot of that around here. The Boston Gardens is
This
exciting to get
area,
many good
the
games.
Minnesota area, and the Detroit area, I guess, are the three hot spots in the States for college hockey, high school hockey. High school hockey probably bigger in Minnesota.
Now that's O'Connell, Mike O'Connell dumping it, but his pass broken up by Danny Gare, taken away by Marcotte. And Huber knocked it away. Marcotte goes digging in after it into the corner. Put it out in front, went right through the goal mouth, and it's Mark Curtin with it. Curtin picks it up, lifts it back to the Boston line. McCrimmon has it there. Keith Crowder. Now Crowder playing it back in. Steve Kasper goes into the corner with Greg Smith. They bounce along the boards, and the play is whistled down as an icing call this time. It'll come back into the Boston zone.
That was a good call by the linesman, pair, because just before the player went over the center ice line, he tried to more or less lay the puck out in front of his teammate, and it went the length of the ice. The players, I don't believe, felt that it would be an icing play, but...
This, of course, the shorter rink, Sid.
This is a tough rink to play on, and it's easy to understand why the teams have trouble winning here, and this Boston club is geared for this building. They run over you, crush you. They got the grinders. One of the grinders out, though, O'Reilly, thank goodness.
Now that's Danny Gare laying it in behind his own goal. It came to the side of the net, and a shot by Kasper deflected into the corner. Gare goes in there with Keith Crowder. Greg Smith trying to work it out. They hold it in along the boards, face off to the left of the Detroit goal.
Danny Gare playing with Curtin and Paul Woods. Paul Woods needs 1 assist for 100 in the National League.
We're just past the 12-minute mark of the first period. No score, and we'll be back in a moment.
The country that just built the world's fastest train also builds the world's best-selling front-wheel drive car, Renault Le Car. From the French, who can give you comfort at 230 miles per hour, comes exceptional ride, handling, and interior room in Renault Le Car. So why drive an ordinary car when you can have this extraordinary car at a most extraordinary price, under $5,000? Le Car by Renault, where great engineering lives in great design, for under $5,000 at Renault and American Motors dealers.
That's Loft Netamansky's thing. Let's get this thing going. Puck came back to the line. Brad Park took the shot. That's deflected toward the corner. Cashman right there to dig it out. He's checked by Larson. Here's Netamansky. Now Netamansky up the left side to Ogrodnik. Puck went off to the side of the net. Barron comes out and holds on to it.
Netamansky, we had a real nice, fine close-up of him. He'll be 38 years old tomorrow, but he is a young 38. One of the real true skaters in the National League and puck carriers.
Boston playing without the services of their leading scorer, Middleton, along with O'Reilly, as you mentioned, and also Fergus. And Detroit without their standout defenseman, Jim Schoenfeld. Now that's Nolan taking it away. Netamansky knocked it down, a bouncing puck. Here's Netamansky with a shot, knocked down before it got through. 3-on-2, the Bruins right back down the ice. Mike Gillis over the line, put it out in front. Kasper's shot knocked away by Selke. Didn't get everything on it. The wings start back with Netamansky. Now Netamansky shoots from center ice, drove it wide of the goal. Cashman will go back after it. In the corner to Larry Melnick. Now Melnick heads out. His pass ahead to McNab. McNab dumps it into the Detroit zone. There's going to be a penalty coming up to Nolan. Away from the play, he took down Mike Gillis, and so the Red Wings again will play short. Nolan will go off, and the play will be in the Detroit end.
Well, Ted Nolan trying to do his job. McNab just flipped the puck into the zone, and Ted got wrapped up trying to keep the player from beating him into the puck. Wound up getting an interference call. You don't want to take too many penalties against this hockey club, the way they move in and move it around with Park, surprisingly, a point man for many years, now playing up on the right side on their power play.
Johnny Busick is now works the color on radio with Bob Wilson here in Boston. He's the fellow that used to just run this power play.
Oh, definitely.
He'd stay over in the corner. Wings won the draw but failed to get it out. Bork held it in at the blue line. Park hands it back to him. Now that's O'Connell. Pederson has it, played it back to O'Connell. O'Connell drove a shot wide. Bork held it in the corner after it. McNab tips it off now to Brad Park. Here's Park circling. Park brought it out in front, but then Greg Smith deflected his shot up into the crowd. And the face-off remains to the left of Bob Sauvé. We've 6.5 minutes to play here in the first period. Still no score in the hockey game. Minute 37 left in the penalty to Detroit's Ted Nolan went off for interference at 13:09. Wings have had only 2 shots in goal. Boston have 6.
Well, that's a little misleading. I thought the Wings in the first couple minutes of play had a couple chances to score goals. I'm sure that Dale's shot trickled into the goaltender's pads and just about fooled him, but there was no register, wasn't a shot registered on it.
Now Brad Park laid it back to the blue line. Bork's pass broken up by Woods, and the Bruins have to come back onside. Ray Bork circles all the way into his own zone, clears it ahead to Pederson. 4 of the move out now. Play into the Detroit end. Greg Smith broke it up, and here's Willie Huber picking up the puck, and he lifts it in the air down the ice. O'Connell will go back after it. 1:10 left in the penalty. McNab off to O'Connell up the left side, went off the skate of Bork, so Willie Huber returns it back into the Boston zone. Now 55 seconds remaining in the penalty to Detroit's Nolan. Bruins come out on the right side. Peter McNab. McNab drops it off. Pederson trying to work in. He's hauled to the ice by Greg Smith. They hold the puck in the corner. Now Park digs it loose. Smith without a stick goes back and picks it up now as O'Connell sends it off to Bork. Now here's a chance for Park. Hit the goal post. Puck and they score. It finally came out in front, and Pederson knocked it back in. The Wings got every break in the world except the last one.
Willie Huber, it hit the post. Bork's shot hit the post. It was a pretty passing play, but the Wings got a break. It hit the post, bounced right back, and was under Willie Huber. And by the time Bob Sauvé could recover and try to get it back in the net, Park, a pass across here to Park. He shot. He's the one that hits the post. Dead on, comes back and plumps in behind Willie Huber on the ice. Bob Sauvé didn't know exactly where it was, and then young Pederson, who was celebrating his 21st birthday today, poked it in by the looks of
it. 37th goal of the year for Pederson. Now here's Boston's McCrimmon with a drive that deflects up into the crowd. I got the 1 assist, Brad Park, 14:39, the time of the goal. And with the Bruins leading now 1-0, we pause for this.
This Bud's for that first day on the job.
Play to the right of the Detroit net. McKechnie wins the draw on Greg Jolly in behind his own goal. Pederson on the power play, his 37th goal of the year, 14:39. Now here's Reed Larson. A pass ahead went behind Osborne. They wave off the icing. McCrimmon goes in behind his own net, dumps it ahead to Marcotte. Marcotte fanned on the first one, now lifts it to Crowder. Here's Crowder over the line, right out in front, Kasper, and Sauvé stops his backhand shot.
Well, Kasper coming awful close to putting the puck in the net, but I thought the play was offside going over the Detroit blue line. They appeared to meet one another over the blue line, and Kasper takes a little lead pass. He's in the clear on his backhand, and the puck goes right in the middle of Bob Sauvé's pads.
Kasper, he's got Marcotte on the left wing, Keith Crowder on the right side. And the Wings up front now with Danny Gare, Paul Woods, and Mark Curtin. Barrett and Greg Smith. Well, we should make mention, we talk about Toby Cunningham every once in a while, but Toby doesn't do as much work here as Len Stone does back as our studio coordinator in Detroit. He's done a fine job all season long because it's not easy when we're working out of one city into another. But Len has kept things rolling along. Now here's Keith Crowder at center ice. It comes back to Hillier into the Detroit zone. Greg Smith takes him in along the boards. Marcotte tried to dig it away. They still hold it. Marcotte gets it now to Crowder. Crowder took the shot, and Sauve stayed with that. McCrimmon's shot bounced off Curtin, still loose. Now it'll be picked up by Woods. He dishes it ahead to Gare. Comes up with him. The two of them over the line. Here's Woods. Picks the shot. And the save made by Barron. Gare headed in alone. Right back down the ice to Bruins. Puck lifted in behind the Detroit goal, and going in after it, Greg Smith. Long right side pass now. Here's Blaisdell. Mike Blaisdell checked right at the line by Brad Park. Play broken up. Blaisdell ahead to Derek Smith. Puck knocked away. Coming back with it now, Krushelinski and Cashman. Ends up in the corner. Gillis goes in after it. Cashman put it out in front. A backhand shot knocked away by Huber. Willie Huber up the right side to Blaisdell, and now Derek Smith. Smith lifts it into the Boston zone. Cashman will play it. Now Cashman ahead to Krushelinski. He carries into the Detroit zone. Huber slows him up. Here's Greg Jolly with it. Up the left side to Eric Bale. Bale's pass tipped away. Krushelinski turned around, still got the shot away as Jolly had him covered. A centering pass, Krushelinski, and again Sauve made the save. And the rebound sent wide of the goal. And right now, Boston with all the pressure as the puck ends up in the crowd. Let's pause right now that you might hear our trivia question for this hockey broadcast.
Tonight's trivia question is brought to you by WLLZ-FM 98.7, Detroit's Wheels. The last of the 3 times the Red Wings dealt Terry Sawchuk away, who did they acquire?
Here's Paul Woods with his opportunity.
Boy, all Paul Woods had to do was put it up about half the height of the net, and he would have scored because Barron went down on his hands and knees. But Boston have had Detroit under terrific pressure the last few minutes. Krushelinski could have scored a couple goals because he has been set up just perfect by Cashman.
Now the play at the Detroit blue line. John Barrett swings it back out center ice. Bruce Crowder left it there. Golfed it back to the Detroit line. Barrett plays it ahead to Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik's pass broken up. Play brought back into the Detroit zone. Ogrodnik came in to take Pederson away from it. Here's O'Connell. Mike O'Connell in behind the Detroit goal, looking. O'Connell played it into the corner. Nedemansky has Pederson tied up, kicked the puck loose. Bruce Crowder pulled it away, put it out in front. A chance for Bork with a drive, and Larson deflected that into the corner. Now John Ogrodnik lifted it to the line, not out. Leveille kept it in. Barrett swings it back out center ice, and Bork has it there. 1:35 to play, first period, 1-0 Boston. Pederson's pass up on the left side. They took the shot, knocked away by Sauve. John Barrett's pass ends up at center ice. Ray Bork. Now Bork lifted it back to the Detroit line. Coming out with it, John Barrett. Barrett fires that one from center ice, and Barron kicks it up into the crowd.
He made a late move on that long shot by Barrett. John Barrett from between the center ice line and the blue line, and Barron made a late move and had to make a stretch save on it. But the shot's now 13-4. There's John Barrett taking a shot, got good wood on it. There's the stretch save by their goaltender, Mark Barron.
Face off to the left now of the Boston goal. McKechnie won the draw. Osborne back to Huber with a quick shot, and Barron kicks that away. And the puck not out. Jody Gage held it in. McKechnie drove it off the glass in behind the goal. Jody Gage went in to play it. Here now is Mark Osborne given a heavy check along the board. Hit there by Melnick. Coming out with it is Steve Kasper. Kasper played it ahead to Crowder. Osborne tipped it away. Crowder had it again. Shot it into the Detroit end. Greg Smith lifts it back to Jody Gage. Now Walter McKechnie. McKechnie played it into the Boston zone. The Wings held it in for the moment. Brad Park gains control. Bumped off the puck by Osborne. Melnick cleared it up the left wing. 30 seconds yet to play in the period. Willie Huber. Now Huber hands it off to Greg Smith. Ahead to Gage. Gage's pass. Paul Woods couldn't get loose. Melnick starts back with Crowder. Crowder lifting it in toward the corner. Woods goes in after it, being chased there by Marcotte. They hold the puck to the boards. 13 seconds to go in the period.
Very important face-off now, just before the end of the period. So often goals are scored, face-offs deep in your zone, late in a period, gives Boston the opportunity to put everyone in deep. Mark Osborne going along, and Melnick gets a pretty good chunk of them along the boards.
Sid, in our first intermission, an interesting feature coming up is going to be a look at how they play hockey in Japan. One of your former players, Kurt Bennett's been very active over there. This is a little different game in the Orient. They play it very politely, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Here's Ray Bourque with a quick shot. Huber knocked it down in front. Gare chases it into the corner, 5 seconds in the period, and the play comes out center ice, and so the first period will come to an end. It does just that with the Boston Bruins scoring a power play goal and holding a 1-0 lead. After one period of play here in Boston, the score, the Bruins 1, the Red Wings nothing. We shall return in just a moment.
Nation wrench set is just $3.49 while supplies last. And get fast turning power plus the versatility of 6 screwdrivers with a 6-in-1 ratchet screwdriver for just $9.99. Then organize small tools and parts in this 15-drawer parts cabinet for just $6.29. You'll find these fine values plus the exceptional tool value of the month at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We are again in the Boston Gardens in our first intermission. Sid, you're the expert on this, but let me ask you something. The Wings were outshot 13-5 in that first period of play, and yet I have seen them outshoot the opposition by that margin many times and be well behind in the hockey game. I felt really they played a little more disciplined brand of hockey here in this first period, and it was a good period of hockey.
It was a very good period. They checked very well. They weren't caught out of position very often. Boston did dominate the period, Bruce, because they were carrying the puck more than Detroit. But, you know, the Wings only had 5 shots, but they had 2 or 3 excellent scoring opportunities. When you look at Paul Wood's breakaway on the pass that Danny Gare gave him, he was in the clear just inside the blue line and went in, and Barron beat him. Early in the period, both Nolan and Bale missed scoring opportunities. So, in a way, 1-0, they're very much in this hockey game. You know, Boston are going to miss Middleton and those fellows, so it's going to be a checking game all the way through.
Well, let's take a look at this goal. Now, this could possibly have been called down. The puck lay under Greg Smith for a long time. Ray Bourque handed it off there.
Well, there's Park taking his shot. Now, the puck hits the post and bounces right back and comes right back. I thought it was Willie Huber. It is Smith, and the puck was sitting right in behind him. And if you notice Bob Sovey taking a look, he didn't see it there. And by the time he could straighten out and figure out what to do, Pederson reached in and put it in the net. But what a year that kid's having. It's just a phenomenal rookie that they sent back, an underage junior. They sent back to their junior club last year out in New Westminster, and then brought him in this year, and he's just played terrific for them.
So the Red Wings are still 40 minutes of hockey to play here. They are having their problems so far as road games are concerned, but that's been the story all season long. What will they do in the final 40 minutes? We'll be back to find that out in a moment or so. What do they do when they play hockey in Japan? We'll find that out in just a moment.
From a country that designed the Concorde, there is Renault. From the first people to fly so far into the future, now there is Renault.
This is a Little Caesars Pizza editorial.
Recently, my son asked me.
It is an ironic rule of nature that things that look delicious, creamy,
Hi, I'm A.J. Gus Jervey. It's manufacturing that makes the difference. Canadian wheat pant coat, dyed in wheat shade with the new corduroy cut to further enhance the sport look.
This book can help get you through college economics.
I'm Kurt Bennett, and after 10 years in the NHL, I'm in my 2nd season in the Japanese Hockey League. And today, I'd like to show you just what hockey's like here in the Orient.
So, the day begins early when a younger player called a kohai says kisho, or wake up, to his sleeping teammates. The team lives together in a clubhouse during the season. Even the married players live in the clubhouse, apart from their families. Everyone sleeps on a floor of straw-like material called tatami, in sleeping bag-like beds called futon. The Japanese conserve space whenever possible, and the futons are rolled up and stored away so the room can become a dining room. While the team cook prepares breakfast, the younger players spread small tables. Koike-san doles out the most popular food served with every meal, rice. Another younger player, Akio-san, ladles the soup. A Japanese breakfast includes such tantalizing foods as raw eggs, fermented beans, pickled plums, salmon, and seaweed. Japanese culture stresses the group over the individual. The team eats, sleeps, meets, and exercises together. On game day, the coach always holds a meeting, which to us has a different ring in Japanese. My brother Harvey and I are the two gaijin, or foreigners, that each of the 6 Japanese teams is allowed. We sometimes are asked to add some of our NHL experience, which can include loosening the team up. As different as the culture is, the players prepare for the game the same way as North Americans. One difference is that each player sharpens his own skates, something very few professional hockey players do on their own. Ohashi-san humorously demonstrates what the Japanese call kanjo, or the spirit of play when injured, as he walks with me to the rink. Yes, walking through downtown Tokyo in a full uniform is an experience. Since all 6 teams play in one city at a time, we dress in our clubhouse and walk to the game. Sometimes we pass others as bizarre as we are, like these Japanese teenagers imitating the dress of the American 50s. Each team has its own cheerleaders who prepare the crowd Japanese style. Politeness is important, and the teams salute the fans before the game. They salute the opposing team, then the captains approach the referees together to bow their respect. A Japanese referee wields more authority and respect than a North American. Criticism is impolite, and rarely do the players or the audience voice disapproval over his decision. If they do, he shows no patience. The cheerleaders exhort the team throughout the game. The fans yell, "Gambate kudasai," or "do your best, please." Jeers and catcalls are considered bad manners and are seldom heard. Disputes happen, but Japanese culture discourages an outward display of emotion. If tempers are up, it's usually between the foreigners, like Russia's Yuri Lyapkin and America's Harvey Bennett. But Japanese players quickly restore decorum. The top team in the league features 2 former Russian national players, Vladimir Shadrin and Yuri Lyapkin. They specialize in scoring goals. But scoring goals is a happy experience in any culture. Japan shows how hockey can be enjoyed in countries all over the world. For foreigners like myself, it's a common language in a vastly different culture. From Tokyo, Japan, I'm Kurt Bennett reporting.
At the Jack Nicklaus house, a Uniden extender phone replaces old-fashioned extension phone.
There's nothing to be said when you win. For a great time you can bet on.
Intermission guests receive a Dexter shoe wardrobe from Phillips Shoes, who features Dexter's wide range of sizes, style, and service. Phillips professionals for your footwear needs. And from Zales, the diamond store, a watch by Long Jeans, who feature the new Mirage. Very thin, very Swiss, very long jeans. The world's most honored watch at Zales, the diamond store.
Hi again from here at the Boston Gardens in Boston, Massachusetts, where the Detroit Red Wings and the Boston Bruins have played one period of hockey. With the score, the Bruins 1 and Detroit 0. Power play goal by Pederson. Tonight's scoring summary brought to you by Little Caesars, home of the famous pizza. Pizza where you get 2 delicious pizzas for just 1 low price. In the first period of play, the Red Wings picked up the only 2 periods. The second one paid off and the only goal scored. Willie Huber went off for hooking at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Detroit fought off the Boston power play. Then Nolan was sent off for interference at the 13:09 mark. And while Nolan was off, it was Pederson that pulled the puck loose from a scramble right in front of the Detroit goal and sent it in to make it a 1-0 hockey game. A puck that had caromed off the goal post, fired by Park. It was McNab who had the other assist on the goal. Pederson from Park and McNab at 14:39. The shots and goal in the first period, Boston 13 and Detroit 5. This has been the Little Caesars scoring summary, home of the famous pizza. Pizza, 2 delicious pizzas for 1 low price. Well, Sid, we have watched what I considered a pretty good period of hockey, that first one, as we get set to get the next 2 underway.
Well,
The name of the game is discipline when you're playing here in the Gardens, Bruce, and Billy Day should be complimented on the fact that he had the wings going up and down there with their checks, kept them pretty well in tow. The Bruins did most of the puck carrying, but the wings stood up, the defensemen stood up, and it was a pretty good period of hockey. But this club is tough, Bruce. They just grind it out. They run over top of you, and it's probably one of the most physical clubs in the league when they're playing here in this building. And even though Terry O'Reilly, who is probably the mainstay of their rough-type hockey, the fact that he is out with a shoulder injury, they still have enough players to cause you a lot of problems.
Well, the second period underway, and the puck is driven back into the Detroit zone. Both teams are at full strength. Ted Nolan knocked down, gets up, played it in behind his own goal. Willie Huber has it. Huber in behind Bob Sauvé. Cleared it on the left wing for Ogrodnik. He chopped it ahead, and at center ice, O'Connell breaks it up. Keith Crowder has it. Now Marcotte's pass broken up by Nedomansky over the line. Ogrodnik trying to work around O'Connell. O'Connell bangs him into the corner, and it's Nedomansky giving chase to it now. Nedomansky laid it back now for Nolan. Here's Nolan, and Kasper came back to intercept that. Nedomansky put it out in front, but O'Connell starts back now for Boston up the right wing. Over the line is Crowder, bumped off the puck by Smith. Now Huber drives a shot from center ice. Barron knocks that down. Bork right out in front of his own goal. Up the right wing for Crowder. Larson comes back. Crowder got Kasper out in front. Puck bounced right to the net off of Detroit's Blaisdell. And Sauvé had to handle that carefully.
Here's a case, Bruce. You have to be careful making your line changes in this building. It's a little shorter, and the wings got caught coming back, trying to get into the play. The pass come across, and it hit Blaisdell's skate and went right to the net. And Bob Sauvé had to cause a stoppage of play.
Peter McNab now. He's got Cashman on one wing, Mike Gillis on the other. Detroit with Derek Smith, Vail, and Blaisdell. McNab sends it back on the line. Brad Park fired the shot, knocked away. Here's Blaisdell. In behind his own goal, he is double-teamed there, and Cashman, when digging after the puck, McNab has it. Jolly checked him, dug away now by Gillis. Here's Mike Gillis sending it right through the goal crease. Reed Larson, number 28 of the Wings, didn't get it out, held in by Melnick. Now it came right back to Melnick, took another shot. Sauvé kicks that away. Vail couldn't get it out. Larson up the right wing now to Blaisdell. He drops it back for Greg Jolly. Three of the Wings led by Jolly over the line into the Boston zone. Jolly goes to the corner, dumped it out in front. There wasn't a Red Wing near it. And right back down the ice, McNab. Ahead to Gillis. Now it's Derek Smith given a bump by Gillis. The puck loose to Vail. Eric Vail goes in behind his own goal. We've played 3 minutes, make it 2 minutes of the second period. 1-0 lead for Boston. A bouncing puck. Barron handles that carefully. Bork lays it ahead now to Cashman. A left wing pass. Levier takes it over the line. Turning with it, Pederson drives it into the corner. Bruce Crowder has trouble there with Mark Osborne. Osborne comes up with it, given a bump by Levier. Levier came out with the puck. He's knocked down. Held in at the blue line. That shot skipped wide of the Detroit net. And Jody Gage scoops it out to center ice. Matter of fact, all the way down the ice, there'll be an icing call against Detroit. So with the score, 1-0 Boston, we pause for this.
This Bud's for the men who took the Andrea Doria treasure back from the sea.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
You are watching Red Wing Hockey and WKVD TV 50, your choice for sports in Detroit. Walter McKechnie wins the face-off, and Barrett plays it up the left side for Osborne. Ahead too far for Jody Gage. Bork lifts it back into the Detroit end, and Greg Smith comes back after it. Now Smith Played it up the right side. Bork came in to hold it in. Here's Bruce Crowder putting it out in front. And it ended up wide of the net. Osborne trying to get loose. He did. Gave it there to McKechnie. Alder McKechnie up the left wing for Osborne. Mark Osborne hands it back. Over the line, McKechnie and Gage. Jody Gage going into the corner. Bork bumped him. McKechnie trying to get loose. He's jammed in along the boards by Hillier. And the Bruins will bring it back. Now Bruce Crowder played it ahead. Here's Pederson going into the shot. The stop was made actually by Barrett. Into the corner after it now. A centering pass. Oh, and right there was Levier, and he fired it wide. Still, the Bruins have the pressure on. Here's Levier again. Right out in front. Sauvé made the save, and another save as Pederson had a wide open opportunity. And Boston with great scoring chances. Play comes back into the Boston zone. The Bruins clear it ahead up the right side. Crowder fired the shot. Sauvé grabs on. He should hold it. He does. And the play is stopped, and Boston has control. The announcers on this telecast are selected by WKB-TV and the Detroit Hockey Club and compensated by the Detroit Hockey Club. Well, here's that great opportunity. Sauvé made the save, came right back out in front, and he knocked away the second one. Now McCrimmon. Puck comes back to center ice. Played back into the center ice zone a second time. And the face-off will be at the center ice zone. We are having some problems with our audio. We're working on it right now to see if we can clear them up. Wings shoot it back into the Boston zone. McCrimmon, Brad McCrimmon, played it up the left side to Marcotte. Shot into the Detroit end. Greg Jolly goes back with Kasper, and there'll be an icing call against the Bruins. So with the score 1-0 Boston, we shall pause for this.
Before winter has you stuck in your tracks, make the Eagle switch. The revolutionary two-wheel, four-wheel drive American Eagle. The only automobile that lets you switch from two-wheel drive to snow-gripping full-time four-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive for high mileage when you want it most, to four-wheel drive for traction when you need it most. And now get a $600 rebate or up to $800 added trade-in allowance on any new Eagle.
Face-off takes place to the left of the Boston goal. Curtin went in behind the net. McCrimmon up the right side. Crowder's pass knocked down by Jolly. It comes loose, and the Bruins carry offside. There's that little short blue and red line at center ice that created the offside. One would wonder, Sid, why it is illegal in a National Hockey League to have a team with a different size rink.
Well, this is one of the old buildings, Bruce, and they just have made sure that the new buildings now are all the proper length and proper width.
Now at center ice, Marcotte fed up the right side, cleared back out center ice. McCrimmon has it there. O'Connell's pass. Kasper drives it in behind the Detroit goal. Sauvé played it the left side for Paul Woods. He scoops it ahead now. Here's Danny Gare. Gare fired it high off the glass. McCrimmon goes back after it. Lifted it toward the line. Marcotte tipped it to Kasper. Here's Kasper. Drove a shot. And Sauvé stopped that on the angle. And coming back now, here is Gare. Danny Gare back into the Boston zone. Goes into the corner. Put it out in front. Took a heavy hit from McCrimmon. And Marcotte heads back. Trying to pull away from Ogrodnik. And they played it in. Crowder was way offside. And the play back out over the Detroit blue line. Boston doing most of the hitting.
And they're a tough club to play, Bruce, because they take you out of the play so well. Kasper getting away here and taking a shot from the top of the circle right into Bob Sauvé's pads. Sauvé has made several outstanding saves here in the second period.
Now the face-off, center ice zone. Netamansky wins the draw. Reed Larson hands it back to Barrett. Ahead now to Ogrodnik. Got Nolan with him. The pass to Nolan. And a shot right on and a big save. A great save by Barrett. Pretty play between Ogrodnik and Nolan. That could have tied it. Now Netamansky sends it back to John Ogrodnik. Hands it back to Netamansky. Big Ned pulled away from one check. Over the line. Trying to go through. Knocked away by Park, and Melnick cleared it, but Ogrodnik will hold it in. It bounced away from him. All the way to center ice, and Barrett comes back after it. John Barrett back at his own line, back deeper in his zone. Now John Ogrodnik knocked off stride. Drops it off for Larson. McNab watching him. Here's Nadamansky turning. Puck sent to the Boston blue line. Broken up center ice by Nolan. Ted Nolan off the boards to Nadamansky. Big Ned got to the blue line. That's all. It's rambly, scrambly play in the center ice zone. Wings changing is Larson. Pulled away from Cashman ahead to Vale. Eric Vale over the line, trying to go through. Here's Derek Smith. Scores! 1-1 tie.
Beautiful play by Vale on a setup to Derek Smith. Vale stick handling his way through. Eric Vale stick handling his way around the one Boston defenseman. Set up Derek Smith, and he went high on the long side. Beat Barron. Here's Vale letting the puck get around behind the defenseman, then just tipping it over to Smith. Smith had a little trouble with it, but picked it up and put it up the long side over Barron's left elbow.
The game tied 1-1 at 6 minutes and 36 seconds. Greg Smith drops it off for Derek Smith. Derek Smith from center ice with a shot that's right on the net. Bork takes it in behind his own goal. Derek Smith intercepts. Here's Smith right out in front, Blaisdell, and he was checked at the last second. The puck fired back into the Detroit zone. Boy, Blaisdell had a great chance. Blaisdell draws the other assist on the goal. Puck is back in the Detroit zone. Making the check on Levier is Willie Huber. Crowder got it loose. Levier's centering pass deflected a second time. And Derek Smith lifts it down the ice. They wave off any icing. So Ray Bork is back after it. Blaisdell and Vale draw the assist. 6:36, ninth goal of the year for Derek Smith. Now here's Bruce Crowder back into the Detroit zone. Gave a bump to Greg Smith as he got control. Eric Vale intercepts the pass ahead to McKechnie. Three of the wings move in. That's Greg Smith with a shot that went wide. Now look out while the wings are changing, but a pass ended up behind Bruce Crowder. Still he goes in with Pederson going right in. And he went in a little too far. Crowder took the puck in behind the net, checked by Larson. And the wings cleared it, but not out. Now that pass out in front. Pederson didn't get the shot away. Takes it off the boards, back on the line. O'Connell hands it off. And Sauve has the puck in the pads and holds on to it. And the play remains to the left of the Detroit goal. Good action. We'll be back with more of it after we pause for this.
This is a Little Caesars Pizza Pizza editorial.
It's true that Little Caesars Pizza is ready in...
Bruce Martin, Sid Abel, Toby Cunningham here at the Boston Gardens. A 1-1 tie, 11 minutes, 50 seconds to play in the second period. Now that's Crowder putting it out in front of the Detroit net. Larson will bring it back out up the left wing for Osborne. Mark Osborne dumps it into the corner. McCrimmon goes in after it, playing it along the boards. Crowder starts out with Kasper. Marcotte coming down the left side. Don Marcotte. Larson checking him. Puck ended up to the side of the net, right out in front. Oh, a bad bounce from the wings ends up as a Boston goal. As Kasper rammed it in. But what a bad break for Detroit. They seemingly had the play made.
The puck caromed up. Marcotte going around the outside. Can't make a play. Tries to pass it across. It hits the stick, goes up in the air. Bob Sauve loses it, and it comes down and is right at the edge of the open post. And Kasper coming in while he's falling. Here's Marcotte. He cannot really make a play, just swishes it across. Puck goes in the air, and look at Bob Sauve look for it. And Kasper, all he has to do is touch it with a stick. And as he falls into the boards, he scores the goal to put the Bruins back on top 2-1.
It's his 15th goal of the year. Marcotte will get one of the assists. Now here's the play into the Detroit zone. Curtin held up on the pass and the delayed offside. Now they whistle it down, and it'll come back out over the Boston line.
Keith Crowder got the other assist. Marcotte and Crowder. Kasper the goal.
Boy, when it doesn't bounce for you, though, it doesn't bounce. The Wings will be at home. 2 games next week at the Joe Louis Arena. And Thursday, the Wings play host to the St. Louis Blues. Everyone receives a free Red Wings team photo poster. And then it'll be Fan Appreciation Night Saturday with the Chicago Blackhawks. Play back into the Detroit zone. Cashman in along the boards. Bumped there by Huber. Paul Wood's pass didn't come out. He is really racked by Gillis. Here's Danny Gare. Gare. His pass broken up. Cashman plays it toward the corner. Wings intercept that. Curtin ahead to Woods. Now Paul Woods over the line. Danny Gare with a shot, fired it wide. Barrett will hold it in. John Barrett shot it in behind the net. But the Bruins are there to bring it out. The play whistled down. No, it wasn't. He started the whistle. The linesman Collins on a long offside, but Wings gain possession, so it continues, and Curtin shoots it back in. Barron in behind his own goal. Now Jolly held it in, tried to work his way into the corner. McCrimmon covers up. Here's Nolan. Nolan knocked it down in the corner to Ogrodnik. In behind the net, Nolan got it loose for Netamansky, handed it back to Nolan. And they scramble in the corner, still scrambling after it. On his knees, Nolan made the play, but Gillis shoots it out center ice. And Greg Jolly back after it, 2-1 Boston. Netamansky's pass knocked away. McCrimmon drives it back into the Detroit zone. Dove out of the net, clearing it ahead now for Nolan. Now Grodnik starts Jolly out. Greg Jolly over the line. Here's Netamansky with a chance, and he overskated it. Got it a second time. It went in behind the goal. Netamansky put it out in front, but 3 Red Wing players were off to the side of the net. What a chance Detroit had. Jonathan drops it off. And back to break it up, Greg Smith. Smith was passed too far out in front of Nolan. They wave off the icing. Melnick goes in behind his own goal and starts back out. Ray Bork. Now Bork hands it off. Krushelensky takes it into the Detroit zone. Melnick drove it in behind the Red Wing goal. Now Eric Vail just let it come out center ice. Brad Park back after it. Vail intercepts. Here's Eric Vail back over the line around Park into the corner. Put it out in front. It's bouncing around. Reed Larson. His backhander knocked down by Melnick, and the Bruins head out. Larry Melnick back into the Detroit end. Bork. His centering pass along the boards. Derek Smith scoops it center ice. Jonathan gave him a bump. Here's Melnick with it. Melnick carries back in. Puck driven in toward the corner. In after it, Larson. Blaisdell couldn't handle it. Krushelensky sent it right to the goal. Barrett takes it to the corner up the right side for Blaisdell. Now Derek Smith. Smith's pass knocked away. They whistled it offside. So with a pause in the action, and the Bruins leading 2-1. We'll be back in a moment.
Paul Woods coming out with the puck, and there's big Mike Gillis really taking him out with the elbow up under Paul's chin, knocking him flat. Nope. There's only been 2 penalties called in this game, both in the first period. Huber and Nolan, both of Detroit.
Now the play back out center ice. Greg Smith. Pass went off McKechnie's stick. Levier drove it back into the Detroit zone, and McKechnie bounces it back out center ice. Brad McCrimmon's pass broken up by Greg Smith. He carries back in. He's dumped to the ice. Still he managed to play. There's Jody Gage. Drove a shot, fired it way up over the top of the net. Oh, Huber couldn't get to it. Back after it, Osborne. Here's Gage turning it again. Jody Gage comes back in. Gage took the shot on the angle. Osborne will hold it in toward the line. In behind the net. Barron came out. He knocked Gage down. And Jody Gage is shaken up off the big goaltender stick of Barron. He skates to the Detroit bench. Play back into the Detroit end. Here's Danny Gare starting back out. He's bumped heavily by McCrimmon. Coming back down the ice, over the line. This is Bruce Crowder going in, and he scores. And it's 3-1.
Now the Wings get caught out of position for the first time tonight on a play started in center ice. McCrimmon really knocks Gare flying and then makes the play up. And there's no doubt about this. Right in on the short side. Beautiful play. He was in by himself. And
there were 2 Bruins going in with nobody at all back in front of
Well, they seem to run into one another at the Detroit blue line and just left an open highway for the Boston player.
Crowder gets his 9th goal of the year. Here now is Mark Curtin. Took a heavy bump from Hilliard. Ball Woods. Woods takes a check from Bork. He's knocked flat. Curtin took the shot. Knocked away out in front by Bork. Boston doing all the hitting. And the Red Wings on the receiving end of it right now. And it paid off in that last goal. Here's Curtin at center ice, ahead to Nolan. Ted Nolan drops it off for Mark Curtin. Knocked away by Bork. Ogrodnik holds it in. Now Ogrodnik laid it back. A chance for Greg Jolly with a drive. Here's a shot and a rebound. Just tipped into the corner by Ogrodnik. Now Nolan checked his man. Ted Nolan put it right out in front. It tipped away from Ogrodnik. And the Bruins clear it out center ice for Keith Crowder. Jolly came back to intercept the pass. Up the right side to Mark Curtin. He played it in behind the Boston net. Little less than 6 minutes to go in the second period. Keith Crowder. Crowder bringing it out center ice. Scooped it into the Detroit zone. Willie Huber goes back after it. Played it too far for Blaisdell. And it'll be Melnick tipping it back in, but knocked down by Nedemansky. Nedemansky digging back in, looking. His pass broken up by Cashman. Now Wayne Cashman pulling away from Huber. Huber knocked it down. The referee said no. He was right on the play and nodded his head. Huber up the left side. Now Blaisdell brought it out center ice. Cashman back to take that. Here's Brad Park ahead to McNab. In behind the Detroit net. Sauvé's pass knocked down, and Cashman took the shot, bounced away out in front. Nedemansky didn't get it out, held in by Parks, and Nedemansky intercepts ahead to Ogrodnik. Now Blaisdell over the line, fired the shot, and Barron got a piece of it, knocked it away. Cashman. Wayne Cashman driving it back into the corner. Sauvé left it there. McNab's pass broken up by Jolly ahead to Gage. Now Vail. Eric Vail, he's got a man moving in. Derek Smith with a drive that went wide. Now Smith, he sets up Jolly. Jolly fired that one and coming out of the net. Barron took the angle and made the save, and the Wings had their chance.
The Wings have had their licks every turn on the ice here in this period, but Boston have scored a couple goals. It's been a good hockey game.
And the Bruins lead 3-1. We'll be back in a moment.
Everyone is trying to sell you an individual retirement account. Which is the right one? An IRA from the Michigan National Corporation banks. When you invest up to $2,000 a year, you want your money in a safe, secure financial institution. And Michigan National is $6 billion strong. Plus, you want more money for your money. And Michigan National continually pays a high interest rate. Come to Michigan National, where retirement planning is as easy as IRA.
The Wings putting pressure on Boston and having a fine chance, and Barron having to come way out of his net to make a save on a shot by Jolly.
Face-off stays to the right of the Boston goal. O'Connell goes in behind his own net. We've 4 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the second period. 3-1 Boston. Now O'Connell clearing it ahead. Bruce Crowder's pass. Levier tipped it into the Detroit zone. Back after it, Jolly. Now Eric Vail. Vail played it ahead for Derek Smith on the right side. Nolan over the line, gave it back to Smith. Pederson knocked it away from him, and Jolly comes back after it. Reed Larson. Now Larson pulled away from one check ahead to Vail. That's knocked away. Here now Crowder moving in. Shot it over the top of the goal. Tried to center it. He did. Pederson had it, lost it, and Vail turns out. Eric Vail back over the line. Being checked there by O'Connell, and Crowder moves it back now for Boston. Into the Detroit zone. Jolly took him away from the play, and it's McKechnie. Right wing pass for Ted Nolan. Nolan hands it back to McKechnie. It slides into the Boston zone. Randy Hilliard flips it back out center ice. Osborne knocked his man Pederson down. Here's McKechnie back over the line. Shot deflected wide. Huber held it in. Didn't hold it in. He overskated it. Levier comes back with Kasper. Now Kasper went around Barrett, took the shot, and Sauvé Made it back into the corner. Jody Gage moves in for the check there. Huber gets into it, and they hold it face off to the left of the Detroit goal. So again, 3-1 lead for the Bruins, and we pause for this.
Time. When you ship air cargo, time really is money. That's why Flying Tigers makes you this 100% on-time guarantee. No matter what you have to ship, we'll pick it up, fly it, and deliver it virtually anywhere in the country on time, or you don't pay. Flying Tigers. It's on time, or it's on us.
2 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the second period. Hilliard drew the assist on Bruce Crowder's goal. Two of the Bruins broke in alone on top of Sauvé, with Crowder scoring 12:56. Now here is Willie Huber at center ice, handing it off to Barrett. John Barrett ahead to Jody Gage, off to McKechnie, chases it into the corner. The opposite corner now to Mark Osborne. Dropped it there for Gage. McKechnie had a stick on it, knocked away from him. He was knocked to the ice by Hilliard. Ray Bork. Bork played it up the right side, and John Barrett decked his man, and he's going to get a penalty. He'll go off probably for interference.
Well, he decked him, but the referee has let a lot of things go here that penalties could have been called. Surprising, the third penalty called, and they're all against Detroit. John Barrett really got a full chunk of Keith Crowder as he tried to come up along the board. In the meantime, McKechnie and Hilliard were slashing away at one another. McKechnie got knocked down when he wasn't even in on the play. But Dennis Morrell was letting a lot go.
Letting everything go. If he let anything go, I thought it was the goaltender when he chopped the skates out.
That's right. Actually hurt. Was it Ted Nolan? But somebody behind
Nolan,
the net.
yeah, I guess it was Nolan. I've even forgotten now. Or was it Gage? No, Jody Gage.
Jody Gage, right.
So the Red Wings now have the only 3 penalties of the hockey game. The first Boston goal was a power play goal. But then he let some of the Red Wings get away with a few things, too.
In fact, they scored a goal when
Greg Smith could have had a
penalty.
Here now is Brad Park over the line, drops it off for McNab. Bruins have the extra man. Paul Woods got it loose and fires it down the ice. Buck slides in behind the Boston goal. They've used up 20 seconds of the power play time. O'Connell pirouettes in behind his own net. Plays it ahead now to McNab. Here's Cashman. Cashman drops it back. Pederson played it to the line. Brad Park gives it now to Cashman. Woods knocked it away and shoots it out center ice. Going after it is Curtin. Mark Curtin, he was checked by McNab. They dig away at it. Now O'Connell plays it to Cashman back in the Boston zone. Wayne Cashman turned around by Woods. O'Connell tries again. Gives it now to Pederson. Into the Detroit zone. Smith drove him off the puck. Mark Curtin has it. Played it along the boards. That'll come back to Bork back at the Boston line. They've used up a minute of the penalty. Here's Pederson. Now Park. Brad Park having trouble with Greg Smith. Turned away from him. Now Park holding it along the circle. Still with the extra man. Back on the point to Cashman. Here's Park with it again. Brad Park playing it back on the line to Ray Bork with a shot. The save made. And Willie Huber covered up on McNab. Greg Smith drove it along the boards, and Vail fires it back to the Boston line. 20 seconds left in the Boston power play as Cashman carries in again, but McNab beat him in over the line, coming down the boards on the left side.
The Wings doing an excellent job here of showing off this penalty.
The excitement of college hockey comes back to town. The Joe Louis Arena hosting the Central Collegiate Hockey Association playoffs today and tomorrow. There's doubleheader action both days beginning about an hour and a half from now. So don't miss if you can get there. The CCHH at the Joe Louis Arena, sponsored by Ballpark Franks. Tickets are on sale at the Joe Louis box office, Hudson, all the CTC outlets.
Just 19 seconds left on John Barrett's penalty.
Play just over the Detroit blue line. Here's Bork. O'Connell carrying into the Detroit zone. Woods has him tied up. Jolly, though, fanned on it. And then he tripped the Boston player, O'Connell. Woods is down on top of the puck. They're kicking away at it. And it's Jolly who comes out with it. Now Greg Jolly skating it out to center ice. He's dumped by Kasper. Here now is Marcotte carrying it over the line, but they rule that the puck had been gloved ahead by Jolly to his forward. The penalty's over. And the Red Wings are back now at full strength. One of the reasons that Boston didn't score is right there.
Paul Wood goes 90 miles an hour. Great defensive hockey player. Has had his problems this year scoring goals, but they love him in Detroit.
21 seconds remaining in the second period. Now here's Reed Larson into the Boston zone, trying to go through. He was checked. It comes out center ice. Jolly has it. 10 seconds left in the period. Ahead to Curtin. He's at the Boston line. Hands it back to Jolly. His pass went behind Gare. Down the ice. Time may go out before the whistle blows. It does just that. And the second period comes to an end with the score of the Boston Bruins 3, the Detroit Red Wings 1. A good period of hockey. We'll be back to tell you more about it. Coming up in our intermission, the shootout. Bud Lynch and Mickey Redmond face one another. That should be a dandy meet. And that'll be Mike Blaisdell and Mark Osborne with Bud and Mickey on hand.
I'd bet on Bud.
Would you know? The score here, 3-1 Boston. We'll be back in a moment.
Now, how'd that Panasonic get there?
Canvas.
The room needed a view, so I got this big Panasonic.
Reggie, why?
Only Panasonic plays as brilliantly as I do.
Panasonic TV. So lifelike, you feel you're part of the picture.
Available at Worldwide TV and Appliance in Allen Park, Brighton, and Farmington. And at Royal Radio and TV in Royal Oak.
Hey, Mike, what do you got going for lunch?
Important business.
And a smile wherever you are makes you feel good, more refreshing by far. Have a Coke and a smile. Coca-Cola, the way it should be. I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Have a Coke and a smile.
This Bud's for the people who make the tough jobs all part of a day's work.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
And again from here in Boston Gardens, where the Red Wings and the Bruins have played 2 periods of hockey, Boston leading it 3-1. Derek Smith got the game tied up with his 9th goal of the year. Eric Vail and Blaisdell. That was at 6:36. A couple of minutes later, though, the Bruins came out and scored, and what really said was a pretty lucky bounce. Marcotte was covered by Larson. The puck went high in the air and took a goofy bounce right to actually right in front of the corner of the net, and Sauvé had no way of finding it.
Well, Marcotte couldn't make a play. Larson had him tied up, and he just swished the puck across through the goal crease, and it appeared to hit a stick and bounce straight up in the air. Bob Sauvé didn't know where it was at all. He looked back to see if it was behind the net, but it dropped right in the edge of the crease, right off the post. Kasper, coming in, was the only player there, and he just jammed it in as he fell into the boards. The second goal, the goal where a body check in center ice. Danny Gare got knocked flat. The Wings got caught running into one another at the blue line, and there was actually 2 players. Crowder just went right into the blue line in the clear and beat Bob Sauvé cleanly. But it was the first mistake that the Wings had made at their blue line all night long.
Well, it was a good check, really, that set up the play. So the Detroit Red Wings trail by 2, but it's been a good 2 periods of hockey. In the second period, Boston outshot them 15-9. That's 14 Detroit. Boston 28 the shots on goal. We've got some fun coming up with our shootout. That'll be taking place in just a moment from the Detroit area. So we'll tell you again, it is 3-1 Boston after 2 periods of play, and we'll be looking at the shootout in just a moment.
This Bud's for that first day on the job.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
for all you do.
This Bud's for you.
This is a Little Caesars Pizza editorial.
In these inflationary times, it amazes me to hear that some of you are still paying for one pizza and only getting one pizza. For example, here is your pizza buying dollar at Little Caesars. Here is your pizza buying dollar anywhere else. Their pizza anywhere from $4 to $7. Our pizza, just $5.65. Look, where else but Little Caesars can you get so much good food for so little money? I don't know. Bob, do you know? Carl, does anyone here know?
Your money is safe at Michigan National. Over $6 billion in assets make us one of America's largest banking organizations. 460 locations statewide serve 2.5 million Michigan people, more than any other bank. And deposits are insured to $100,000 per account by the FDIC and by an additional $472 million in depositor protection. In these unsure times, there's no safer place than Michigan National Corporation banks.
Within every soul, there exists the need to be free. 98.7 WLLZ. A spirit as elusive as rock itself. It's the music of a newfound freedom. And we continue to deliver far less talk, better rock, fewer commercials, and up to $1,000 a day. 98.7 WLLZ. Detroit's new wheels.
Just in time for spring, True Value hardware stores break through with more down-to-earth prices during Hardware Week. You can get this steel shelf unit by Quaker for just $16.99, and this quick set deadlock for just $10.88. Save energy with this little watt adapter, just $6.77. And you'll find extra savings with the manufacturer's rebate on this First Alert smoke detector. Come get these and other budget-priced values during Hardware Week at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
This book can help get you through college economics. This book can help get you through college. Call for your free copy.
Shootout with Bud Lynch and Mickey Redmond.
The Red Wing players in the second round of the competition here, and you've been watching it, and I've been telling you about Mickey Redmond wearing the Red Wing outfit on the ice in the demonstration. Through 10 shows now, the fans have been watching you and Gilbert tangle. You can't score on second shots.
It's tough to beat those goaltenders, Bud. No, there's no taking those rebounds when you're shooting those penalty shots. Of course, that's the third part of our competition, but we'll have a look very quickly at what happens at the start.
Now, this is what happens because phase one, they get the chance to get passes from the corners, and the pucks are fed out, and they shoot 10 shots, of course. That time, Mickey did pop the lower right-hand corner one. And then they do the little skating around the pylons, controlling the puck. And this is an emphasis, I suppose, Mickey, on control of the puck, shooting, and hopefully scoring.
It is, but I'm trying to take my time here, try not to make any mistakes. I missed that pass to this one. I fortunately got in the corner, but
every week it's
the last part is important. It's a 10-point bonus to get the goal, and of course those goaltenders are awfully tough to beat, and they're playing very well in the competition so far.
And this one-on-one now, that's what Gilbert's been doing for you every week.
They like to use that stick, don't they?
Part of their control, I guess. Well, this should be an interesting one. Now, we're in the second round, of course. We head towards the semifinals, and we got two promising youngsters, rookies, Blaisdell and Osborne. And we're ready. Mike Blaisdell eliminated George Lyle. Obviously, you can see a right-handed shot.
Not having too much luck so far with the targets. There it is, the first target down. Only 2 shots left for Blaisdell. He gets the second one. Oh, boy, he rang that right off the junction of the goal post and the crossbar, but that target just a couple of inches away from the post.
Well, the goalie standings as of right now in the second round make it very impressive.
Boy, they couldn't be much closer than that with 5 points for each save, only 2 saves separating the 2 goalers.
Mike Blaisdell on the move.
Both passes missed again. Here's the 10-point bonus shot. Oh, good save by Gilbert. Might add, the goaltenders do not get 10 points for stopping the shot. They only get the 5. The shooter does get 10 if he scores on the goaltender. And Blaisdell trying to go high on the short side, and Gilbert held his ground and went down to make the save. Third part of our competition now, the one-on-one.
21-year-old right winger, Mike Blaisdell. Oh, he
He had Gilbert going 2 or 3 different directions on that one. A little bit of a head fake. Blasted that one right into the pads.
There's a head shake.
Good deke. That's, boy, Wayne Maxner would love to see those moves in a hockey game. Gilbert, another good save.
There it is, 2-2. Oh, he let one. Well, he let the long shot go.
Well, that phase of the competition is not as easy as it looks. You've only got 30 seconds. Look at this, the deke to the forehand, and bingo, right upstairs. Gilbert, no chance on that one, but it's an endurance contest as well on that final competition. You've got to get back to that blue line and get those 5 shots away. Deking, of course, takes a little more time to do. You've only got 30 seconds to do it, and if you don't complete it in 30 seconds, of course, you get the negative 5 points.
Now his challenger right now is Mark Osborne, the Red Wing rookie, left winger, only 20 years of age. Tall, lanky forward. Boy, there's a dead aim.
Well, he's got the 2 easy ones down. Now the top 2 left. Oh, good shot on that one. Chance for all 4. 2 shots left. It's close.
Perfect.
All right, he got all 4 of them. That's some fine shooting by
Can you say that for the game?
We've got a tie, as you can see.
2 more
already.
phases for Mr. Osborne.
So a couple of good passes here into the targets could win it for Osborne. The time on the course still not determined. A 5-point bonus for the player that finishes the course in the least amount of time.
Bear.
Nothing on the course for Osborne. He still has 5 shots left. The penalty shot from the blue line. Here's a look at the save. Gilbert getting a piece of it with his right pad and the goal stick. To win this competition, Osborne may need 2 goals if he got defeated in the time on the course.
Oh, and the long goalie stick saved that one.
Both goalies doing a great job. Again.
Mark Osborne scores. We haven't said that too many times, Mickey.
Goal post on that one. Well, the goaltenders have been playing so darn well, Bud. There haven't been that many goals.
That's for sure.
Gilbert again stopping 4 out of 5 on Osborne. And this could be close, if not a tie. We'll have to wait and see. No, it isn't. Mark Osborne with a 30-20 win.
So that winning goal again. Take a look at it. Osborne against Gilbert.
Second last shot. And right on the ice. Look at that. That's the place to put him.
So as the 2 youngsters at center ice now join Al Blade.
But as you mentioned, we have the 2 youngsters on the ice. We have our first-year guy, Mark Osborne, and Mike Blaisdell. Mark, congratulations. You're the winner by a score of 30-20. And each of you had problems. In other words, in the first game, you got all 4 targets, and this time you only got 2. In the first show, you only had 5, and this time you had all 20. What did you do between shows?
I don't know. I think we ate too much. Had a couple sandwiches there, and my shooting eye was off.
Mike, in the whole obstacle and obstacle course, the shooting and the goaltending, etc., which do you think you're the best at, and which gave you the most problem?
Well, I thought maybe I'd do well in the shooting, and I kind of goofed up this time. And then I think my time was a little slow on the obstacle course, so I should have pushed it a little harder, I guess.
Mark, my congratulations to you and Nikolov in the first round. Gilbert in this one. Which was the toughest?
They're both good goalies. I did a lot better on shooting on the targets this time, and I think I scored 1 goal on each of them, and just shooting a 5 puck, so they're both good.
Mark, again, congratulations. We'll see you in the next round.
Thanks very much.
Our winner, Mark Osborne. We'll be back with Bud and Mickey.
And on the next show, Mark Curtin against Willie Huber.
Shootout is brought to you by CompuWare. Watch for the opening of our computer store in your area.
Sometimes, in business, as in life, you need a little extra help to meet the goals you have set. Due to the size of the job, or to beat a tight schedule, the CompuWare team is there to help you with your data processing needs. From systems or application software to mini computer systems, or the professional development of your staff, CompuWare can assist you in meeting your goals. Check us out. We're the logical alternative.
buds for everyone who's in the groove.
It's 5 minutes on the upswing of 5. Outside it's 87 degrees under sunny blue skies. Stay tuned for my man Flash. I'm moving out of here, having myself an ice cold brew.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
All you do is for you.
I know. At the Jack Nicklaus house, a Uniden extendophone replaces old-fashioned extension phone.
Barb wants to say goodbye.
Bye, Mom. Hold on. The kids want to say goodbye.
The extendophone. It has no cord, so you can take it with you. Carry it anywhere, in or around the house. And you can place or receive calls from anywhere in the world. The Uniden extendophone.
It goes with the conversation.
Third period just now underway, and Ray Bork moved in and drove it off the goalpost. And Sauvé comes out of the net to stop Keith Crowder. Marcotte a shot that goes right through the goal crease. So Boston coming on strong in the early moments of the third period. Willie Huber shoving his man in along the post. Kasper got it loose. Here's Kasper putting it out in front, and Sauvé finally grabs onto the loose puck. It is 3-1 Boston right from the face-off. Ray Bork moved in and just drilled it off the post.
Oh, and he can fire that puck. He just moved in over the blue line from the top of the circle. He hit the post dead on. He had Bob beaten cleanly, but Wings got a break with the post.
Now it is in behind the Detroit goal. Marcotte digs it away. Don Marcotte, his shot deflected off target by Willie Huber. Here's Greg Smith ahead to Netamansky. Now Netamansky fires it into the corner. Bork will be the first man in behind his own goal. Up the left side, Marcotte brings it back. Now Marcotte clearing it into the Detroit zone. John Barrett being chased by Crowder. Crowder went to the ice. Marcotte holds it in. They jam it in along the boards. He and Derek Smith play to the left of the Red Wing goal. So very quickly, let's give you the scoring summary of the second period, brought to you by Little Caesars, home of the famous pizza. Pizza where you get 2 delicious pizzas for just 1 low price. Boston led 1-0 going into the second period. A power play goal by Pederson. Then Derek Smith tied it up with his 9th of the year. Vail and Blaisdell at 6:36. Then Kasper from Marcotte and Crowder at 8:33. And then Bruce Crowder from Hillier at 12:56. Barrett served the penalty, the only penalty of the second period. This has been the Little Caesars scoring summary, home of the famous pizza. Pizza, 2 delicious pizzas for 1 low price. Reed Larson. Larson dumping it ahead for Derek Smith. Smith has Blaisdell following on the play, but Smith took the shot. Barron stops that easily. Here's Vail holding it in. Eric Vail handed it out. The pass ended up behind Blaisdell, and Cashman comes back. Wayne Cashman driving it into the corner. Larson tipped it. McNab put it right through the goal mouth. Eric Vail, he's stopped by Park. Brad Park dumping it for Mike Gillis. Gillis into the corner. McNab put it out in front. It comes back to Melnick. Melnick handing it back now to Cashman. Here's Gillis with it. Gillis' pass deflected by Barrett. McNab off the side of the net to Cashman. Being checked there by Derek Smith. Puck just lay there. Finally, Vail comes in to get it. Eric Vail bringing it out to center ice. Vail charging over the line. The big guy around Park. Vail still digging after it. Put it right to the goal mouth. Blaisdell took a swat at it and didn't get much of it. Brad Park in behind his own goal ahead, and it comes now to Gillis. Gillis being checked by Greg Smith. Puck taken into the Detroit end. Now it's Walter McKechnie with it. In the corner, it got by Mark Osborne. Held in at the blue line. Levier drives it into the corner. Cashman in after it. Checked there by Jolly. McKechnie came back to dig it away. Starts Osborne out. Mark Osborne ahead to Gage. Back to Osborne. Checked by Levier right there. Jolly got it loose. McKechnie sends it back to Greg Smith. His shot deflected high. Barron reaches up, grabs it, and holds on. So with the score 3-1 Boston, we pause for this.
Okay, everybody, let's hear it for winter driving. Well, we didn't hear from you Jeep CJ owners. Off to the slopes, eh? Didn't hear from you Wagoneer families. Nice and secure. And you Jeep Cherokee owners don't seem to mind a little snow. Say, you Jeep truckers just keep on trucking, don't you? while you Jeep scramblers keep on scrambling. Get out of your rut this winter and get into Jeep. Now during the Jeep Gold Tag Sale, get $400 to $1,000 on selected models direct from Jeep.
Walter McKechnie goes in against Pederson off to the left of the Boston goal. Bork takes it in behind his own net. He was turned around. Gage got it loose. Dives into the corner. Bork bumped him off the puck. Here's McKechnie. His pass ended up behind Osborne. Hillary turns with it. Hillary left it in the corner. McKechnie tied up his man, but it comes loose, and Bruce Crowder, who's playing up along the blue line, starts Levier into the Detroit zone. Levier right out in front. That puck went loose, but Greg Smith goes in to cover up. And Smith clears it ahead for Osborne. Mark Osborne lifts it ahead, Jody Gage. Now Gage, a one-man rush. The wings are changing. He was stopped by Hillier. Back down the ice, Levier ahead to Pederson, back into the Detroit zone. Sauvé kicks out away. Danny Gare sent it to the line, not out. It's deflected off to the side. Paul Woods in after. Left wing pass to Curtin. Mark Curtin laid it out at center ice, picked it up again. Danny Gare, just a step ahead of the play, is offside. You are watching Red Wing Hockey on WKVD TV 50, your choice for sports in Detroit. Wings have a long layoff, said I was going to say. They don't play again until next Thursday when they're at home against St. Louis.
It's going to be nice that we're home all next week, though. Billy Day's done a good job of preparing the hockey club for this game. This is a tough building to play in. The Wings going way, way back through the years have always had troubles trying to win a hockey game in Boston.
Don Marcotte takes it away, cleared it into the Detroit zone. John Barrett in after it. Now it's knocked away from Gare. Marcotte into the corner, circling with it, put it right to the goal mouth, and Sauvé knocked it away as right out in front was Kasper. Here now is Willie Huber, laying it up the left side. Paul Woods took the bump, still cleared the puck to center ice. Back at his own blue line, Brad McCrimmon. Now Kasper. Kasper, a bouncing shot into the corner in the Detroit zone. He's Crowder in after it, bumped along the boards by Barrett. Curtin tied his man up, and Willie Huber has it. Huber's pass too far for Woods. Now O'Connell drives it right back in. Here's Kasper. He'll hold it in, put it right out in front. Oh, and Sauvé made a great move and took a goal away from Keith Crowder.
There, if you're nonchalant, let them beat you to the puck, you get in trouble.
And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Sunshine, here we come. Here, there, everywhere, a Coke and a smile. A Coke and a smile. Coca-Cola, two of a kind. It feels good, 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 good. Time after time. Refreshing and nice. So good, so refreshing and nice. That's the way it should be. I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Any time of your day, have a Coke and a ooh, smile.
This is how things happen and how goals are scored. Kasper throwing the puck right across in front of the goal, and Crowder's there. Mark Curtin just seemed to take an extra second or two to bother picking him up, and it come awful close to being in the net.
Big save by Sauvé, who's made 30 of them in this hockey game. There's a shot, make it 31. Fired from the blue line by Melnick. Coming out with it now is Jolly. Jolly's pass tipped away at the Boston line. Nedemansky banged it back into the Bruins zone. Park plays it ahead now to Cashman. McNab. Now Gillis given a bump. Knocked off the puck by Larson. Reed Larson lost it right out in front. And it was cleared away. Jolly came in with Sauvé's help. Back into the Boston zone. Nedemansky. Puck bouncing around. Here's Larson with it. He played it to the side of the net. Melnick is there to take it away for Boston. Being chased by John Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik locks him to the board. Play is stopped. Face off to the right of the Boston goal. We've played 5.5 minutes of the third period. The Red Wings' next televised game here on TV 50 will be Wednesday, March 24th, 8:30. The game from Chicago against the Blackhawks. That'll be the Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. Wednesday, March 24th, 8:30 on WKBD TV, Channel 50.
Reed Larson making a real error out in front of his own net, but he gets very fortunate to get away with it. The puck just seemed to stick on him as he went to stick handle around the first player.
Play to the right of the Boston goal. Pederson in against Derek Smith. Smith won the draw, and Greg Smith took the shot, and Barron kicks that out. Play broken up center ice by Huber. Eric Vale. This pass, Blaisdell evidently didn't see it, and Pederson has it. Crowder took the shot off to the side of the net. Blaisdell goes in behind his own goal. Puck cleared out center ice. Hillier plays it there. Bort, rink-wide pass to Randy Hillier up the right side. Bruce Crowder clearing it in behind the Detroit net. Sauvé then sent it along the boards. Eric Vale starts Greg Smith out. Now Blaisdell. He played it off the skate of Derek Smith. The pass is not too sharp right now. Just a little flip right to the goal, so that's grabbed off by Barron, who holds onto it.
Well, Boston with their 2-goal lead, Bruce. Now the Wings are going to have problems getting into the zone. Their defensemen are standing right up at the blue line, and if the Wings try to stick handle it through, you've got to put 2 hands on the lumber and really be serious about this. Now is when the Wings have to show that they will check and will take a check to get back in this game. If you try to go in the corners with just 1 hand on the lumber, you're not going to come up with a puck. Eric Vale out there now has played a strong game for the Wings all night, and his 2 children, Natasha and Scott, are watching. I'd like to see Eric score a goal for them.
Now the play remains in the Boston zone. McCrimmon up the left side to Marcotte. Long flip shot grabbed off easily by the Detroit goaltender Sauvé. Sent it along the boards, but not out. Still deep in the Detroit end. Here's McCrimmon with a shot, and Sauvé stayed right with that one. And the Wings, Eric Vale starts Blaisdell out. Took the shot from center ice, and Barron has no trouble with that. O'Connell center ice pass to Marcotte. Keith Crowder digging into the Detroit end. Crowder, he's dumped in behind the goal by Barrett. And the referee, Morrell, lets that by the boards. And here now is Osborne coming out. Ahead to Walter McKechnie over the line. McKechnie's pass out in front. A quick shot by Osborne, and he scores on his own rebound. And it's 3-2.
A nice play by McKechnie. Osborne to McKechnie, then back to Osborne. Osborne took a shot from his forehand, and then following the play, a sign of a good hockey player, just followed the play in, and then he got right back on his forehand. Didn't get too much wood on it, but beat Barron cleanly. There's the first play over to Osborne. Took a shot on the backhand. The puck, Barron makes a bad mistake kicking that right back out to him, but Osborne made no mistake on the rebound, put it right back in. It puts the Wings back in the game.
Osborne's 22nd goal of the year. 7:05 of the 3rd period. With a shot right out in front of him, score! And another crazy sort of a goal. Look at, he can't believe it. McNab can't believe he scored it.
Well, the Wings get a goal, and this is just the way things have been going all year long. The Wings finally get back in the game. A play comes out. McNab just tipped it, a pass of McKechnie's that was coming across to Gage. McKechnie shouldn't throw this puck across the goal mouth, though. And McNab stuck his stick out, deflected it.
I don't think he had a stick on it at all.
Well, it appeared as though he may have missed it, but it appeared as though he put a stick out.
So Peter McNab will get the unassisted goal. He was just out in front of the net, wasn't expecting the puck. He was laughing. There's a gift. Now it's 4-2. That goal came just 24 seconds after Osborne had put the Wings right back, and they score! That's Danny Gare in the circle off to the left of the Boston net, and now it's 4-3.
Now, there are 3 goals scored, and probably in a matter of a minute or so. There's a case of Mark Curtin with the puck in the corner.
43 seconds.
Out to Danny Gare, and Danny Gare got rid of it the moment it hit his stick, and Barron never made a move. That was into the corner. Danny Gare coming back to the lineup for the first time in about 13 or 14 games. Picks himself up a goal.
His 19th of the season, and it's 4-3. Now the Bruins come out of their own zone. You're going to have to get the assisted. Play back into the Detroit end. Roll to the corner. Gare goes in after it. Jammed in along the boards. Here's Hillier with it. Now Greg Smith playing without a stick. They hold it to the boards. And finally, the referee has ruled that a player gloved it from one to another, and with a score 4-3, Boston will be back in a moment. Peter McNab scoring his 29th goal of the season in between goals by Osborne his 22nd and Gare his 19th. Dove knocks it away. Here's Nolan ahead to Ogrodnik. Pass intercepted by Bork. Right back into the Detroit zone. Bruce Crowder overskated it. Ogrodnik picks it up the right wing to Nolan. Three of the wings move out. Nolan over the line. A drop pass for John Ogrodnik. Nolan off the corner with it. He's checked there by Hillary. They take it in along the board, still kicking away at it. Ogrodnik trying to get it loose. Play whistle down. Face off to the left of the Boston goal.
On the Osborne goal, Bruce, McKechnie and Barrett drew the assists. Then McNab, of course, scored right behind that. 7:05, 7:29, and 7:48.
So the Wings scored 2 goals within 43 seconds of each other, but McNab scored one in between. So 3 goals in less than a minute's time. It is 4-3. And actually, McNab's goal was one just a bad mistake right out in front of the Detroit net. Or this would be a tie hockey game. Here now the Bruins moving in. Crowder's shot. Blocked nicely by John Barrett. Loose in front and Marcotte, instead of shooting, laid it into the corner. Now Nolan let it go to the line. McCrimmon took the shot and Sauvé grabs onto that. Play stays to the left of the Detroit goal. 4-3 Boston. 10 minutes, 48 seconds to play. Third period.
And it's been an exciting hockey game, and we have a big crowd here. Of course, Saturday afternoon's a very popular day for let the kids all come and watch the Bruins play. This game by no means over. 10:48 to go. The Wings within 1, 4-3.
Now the puck slid right out in front of the Detroit net. Larson got it loose, bounced it to the line, but not out. Pass broken up in front by Greg Smith. His right wing pass bounces out center ice. Brad McCrimmon back at his own blue line. Here's Kasper around Larson, and it was Greg Smith knocking it away. Crowder held it in for Marcotte, and again it was Greg Smith that went low, deflected a centering pass off target, and Eric Vale comes out. McCrimmon drove it back out on the puck. Driven back into the Detroit zone by Kasper. Here now the Wings move back out. With it is Larson. Reed Larson got it over the line. Came back to the Detroit line. Greg Smith clears it ahead to Reed Larson. Now Larson just drives it off the boards. It bounces in behind the Boston goal. Brad Park has it there. That's Gillis, the long right wing pass to Cashman. Here is Cashman in behind the Detroit net. Jolly took him off the puck. In behind the goal, Huber. Willie Huber handed it to Cashman. Cashman, a centering pass, but Jody Gage picks that off. Huber up the left side, digging in with Park. Park has Huber tied up, puck bouncing around. Ended up behind the goal with Park on top of it.
I've never seen as many players deep in their zone give the puck away as here in the third period.
9.5 minutes to play, 4-3 Boston. We're back in a moment.
Guess what I got, Harry?
Hoof and mouth disease?
No, I bought an Entertainment 82 coupon book. It saves you up to 50% on almost anything you want.
I want a pizza.
It's in the book.
Dinner at a French restaurant?
It's in the book.
Movies, theater, ball games?
In the book.
Entertainment 82 gives you hundreds of money-saving 2-for-1 coupons. Use it twice, and it can more than pay for itself.
The Bolshevik Ballet.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Entertainment 82, $15.95 at Sears Watch Repair.
Face off to the right of the Boston goal. McKechnie with Osborne and Gage. Pederson waved out of the face-off circle. Bruce Crowder comes in to meet McKechnie. Won the draw. Larson with a drive and the save made. Here's McKechnie. Brought it right out in front with a shot. And going low, Barron kept that away. Big chance for the Wings. First Larson, then McKechnie.
Boy, Walt McKechnie had a chance to tie this. Larson really blistered one from just at the top of the circle. Barron let the puck bounce away from him, and Walt McKechnie stepped in. Nobody challenged Walter. He'd come across out in front. He could have come even a little closer to it and then possibly picked either side of the net. They were more involved in trying to keep Jody Gage from getting in position.
Now this time, Pederson wins the draw. Hillary goes in behind his own goal, or Hillier it is. Playing it up the left side. Now it's Bork. Ray Bork over the line. Crowder was cutting in. Crowder takes it into the corner, bumped along the boards by Larson. Hillier at the right point with a shot, and Sauvé juggled it, but knocked it away. They go in behind the goal. Going after it, it came all the way back down the ice. I'm going to call it icing. I thought that was the Boston player that drove it down there, but it was evidently Larson. Larson says no. He's arguing with the linesman. It was the Boston player that fired the puck all the way down the ice.
Hillier took his shot. Now this was juggled. Look at the screen out in front. It hit into the glove of Bob Sauvé, and he threw it up and then missed it when he tried to bat it.
Red Wings will be home for 2 games next week at the Joe Louis Arena. We mentioned Thursday night, St. Louis Blues, free Red Wings team photo poster night. Saturday, Chicago Blackhawks, it'll be fan appreciation night. First 7,000 youngsters 16 under receive a free Red Wings souvenir, and there will be a drawing for TVs, FAM, cassette players. Fun night, Joe Louis Arena, Chicago Blackhawks, and fan appreciation night Saturday, week from tonight.
Well, Bruce, while we were on our way to Boston yesterday, I had to pass up a birthday party, and I've got to wish my grandson, Brent Johnson, a belated happy birthday. He was 5 years old yesterday, and I had planned on going to his birthday party.
I've never known you to miss a party.
No, I enjoy those.
Mark Curtin in against Kasper. Puck back out center ice. O'Connell drove it in behind the Detroit net. Marcotte held it in. Still deep in the Detroit zone. Crowder and Greg Smith. Smith got it loose, and Paul Woods tips it back into the Boston zone. Danny Gare maybe not feeling too well, but I'll tell you, he was digging after it. Here now the Bruins back over the line. Willie Huber made the check. Marcotte held it in. Shot it wide of the goal. This is Kasper right out in front, and Marcotte tied up by Huber. And then Gare blocked that shot, fired by McCrimmon. And Gare lifts the puck in the air, bounces it back out center ice. He had broken his stick. Nolan comes on to replace him. Here now Paul Woods, laying it into the corner for Curtin. Curtin couldn't reach it. Crowder held it in. Marcotte just left it there in the corner, so Huber will take it. Willie Huber on the right wing now for Nolan. Nolan's pass broken up. Then Nolan took it away. Around a broken stick and down the ice. Ted Nolan over the line, trying to go through. He's hooked by McCrimmon, and McCrimmon finally drove him to the boards. He was hooked all the way in, couldn't get loose. And they hold the puck in the corner, face off to the right of the Boston goal. With the score 4-3, the Bruins. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm A.J. Gus Jervey. It's manufacturing that makes the difference.
His and hers in natural Canadian Coyote. The last word for men and women, particularly for the younger set, desiring the casual look. Designed and manufactured by A.J. Gervais at 762 Willette Avenue in Windsor, 2 blocks from the tunnel exit. Looking forward to waiting on you personally.
Face-off stays in the circle to the right of the Detroit goal. That's Marco Barron in the Boston net. Brad Park gains possession, skates slowly in behind Barron. Now Melnick dumps it up the left side for McNab, ahead to Cashman. McNab pings Pederson over the line, took the shot, Sauvé the save. Wings fail to get it out. Barrett, though, sends it up the right side. Here's Nolan, a left wing pass. Nedemansky over the line. Nedemansky, he's hooked off the puck by Cashman. And it comes back out center ice. Back after it, Nolan. Nolan playing it ahead to Ogrodnik. Sent back out center ice. Boy, oh boy, Nedemansky had a head of steam. Puck driven back into the Detroit end. Sauvé out of the goal, up the right side to Nolan. Nolan starts Ogrodnik out. Here's John Ogrodnik, Park ahead of him. Ogrodnik trying to work around Park, and he's sent into the corner. And the puck bounced back to the Detroit blue line with Huber back after it. There have been 3 penalties in the game, all minors, all to Detroit. Now Derek Smith dumped it by Park, got by Park's check, put it into the corner. Bruce Crowder in after it. Smith knocked it away from him. Puck loose in behind the Boston goal. Crowder goes in, rather Melnick in after it. Now Melnick lifts it out center ice. Greg Jolly has it there, banged it along the boards. Came back into the Boston zone. We've 6 minutes, 15 seconds to play here in the third period. At his own blue line, Willie Huber. Huber playing it ahead to Derek Smith. Now Huber. Willie Huber drops it back for Jolly. Greg Jolly lifted it back into the Boston zone. Ray Bork back after it. Bork's pass knocked away, but the Wings did not gain possession. And coming out, Pederson up the right wing, Crowder. Bruce Crowder over the line, tried to center it. Jolly broke that up. Greg Jolly gets it loose for Vale. Eric Vale. Left side pass to Derek Smith, back to Vale. Here's Eric Vale over the line with a drive. That's deflected wide by Melnick. Blaisdell didn't get to it. And the Bruins will bring it back out. Kasper took a bouncing shot, deflected into the corner with Osborne going in after it. Mark Osborne pinned in along the boards by Crowder. Kasper left it there. The Wings' John Barrett brings it out. Now Barrett, the two defensemen were moving up the ice. Barrett bumped off the puck by Bork. Melnick dumps it out to center ice. Greg Smith has it there. Greg Smith ahead, pass knocked away from Gage. Barrett gets it loose, back to Jody Gage, ahead to McKechnie, and he played it at the blue line. They called it offside, so it'll come back out over the Boston line.
And this game has been spicy enough. A lot of body checking. This small rink, you run into a lot of people.
Well, after today's hockey game, there will be a special 2-hour episode of Star Trek. It will begin at 4 o'clock right here on TV 50.
Big Walter McKechnie coming over to the bench. Walter needs a couple goals for 200 in the National League during his career. He's played with 8 different teams. He's had a pretty good season with the Red Wings. I'm sure that when he first started, they figured just fair work for him. He's played regularly.
Take some face-offs here and there. Here's Greg Smith going off to the side of his own goal. 4:45 to play in the game. The Wings down by a goal. Buck bounced out center ice. Back to the Boston blue line. McCrimmon has it there. Cleared it back into the Detroit end. Back after it, Greg Smith. Now Smith's pass picked up by Danny Gare. Here is Gare heading over the line. Drops it off for Paul Woods, and Curtin tied up out in front of the net. Coming right back now, McCrimmon. Reed Larson knocked it away at the center ice zone. Curtin comes back to hand it there to Jolly. Greg Jolly ahead to Larson. Larson dumps it into the corner in the Boston zone. It ends up behind the goal. Barron laid it into the corner. The Wings trying to hold it in. There's Gare. He handed it off to Curtin. And Barron made the save as Curtin whirled around and let a good shot go. Now it's Cashman. Taken away by Gare. Danny Gare to Curtin. That's broken up, and the Bruins will bring it back out. Up the right side to Cashman. Cashman over the line. Laid it in behind the Detroit goal, and Larson in after it. Now Larson's pass skipped off Cashman back into the Boston zone. Park back after it. Brad Park up the left wing. Moving out with it, Mike Gillis. Gillis drives it into the corner of the Detroit zone. John O'Grodnik quickly out after it. Ted Nolan's pass knocked away. Back down the ice. Levier drove it into the Detroit zone. Pederson holds it in. Huber sent it to the side. Levier in after it. In behind the goal is Bruce Crowder. Crowder centering pass broken up by Huber. Crowder held it a second time, and it's Grodnik that took it away, clearing it out center ice. Melnick drives it right back in. 3 minutes exactly to play. Red Wings, who have not played well in third period, game after game, have here today. Now John O'Grodnik, a rink-wide pass to Nolan. He shot it too far for Nedomansky. Brad Park clears it right back in. Time becoming very important now. Wings trail by a goal. Nolan tipped it out center ice. The Bruins clear it back in. Crowder was turned around. Eric Vale. Off the boards to Willie Huber. Huber didn't get to it. Held in by Crowder. Here's Crowder setting up Kasper. And Stove made a big save on him as Kasper was wide open. In behind his own goal, Huber. Crowder took it away. Tipped off balance. O'Connell held it in. Now that's Crowder with it, sending it right to the goal, and Salve has grabbed onto it as Marcotte kept digging away at it. With a pause in the action, 4-3 Boston. We'll be back in a moment.
Could he be someone special? I think she's kinda neat. Maybe he likes me. Maybe she likes me. Wonder if we'll meet.
It's so hard, but when the hard part's through,
that's when we go for something easy.
like A&W. Nothing so smooth as A&W. Nothing
last shift out there, Bruce, Detroit were a little lazy trying to pick players up, and Boston just kept the pressure on them. I would think Boston are more concerned now about trying to keep their one-goal lead. If the Wings can get the puck out to center ice, you'll find that they will go back into a shell.
Now the play still in the Boston, or rather the Detroit zone, into the corner. Held there, face off to the left of the Detroit net. Coming up, we're going to stay with hockey after the telecast of the game here in Boston. Going to have a shootout. Mark Curtin and Willie Huber will be facing one another. Sid and I will be talking about what has transpired here in the Boston Gardens this afternoon. Tough rink to play in for an opposing team, a visiting team. The Wings have
been very well disciplined all day long.
Not shamed themselves at all in this hockey game. Now the play remains in the Detroit end. Cashman cleared it in behind the goal. Danny Gare takes it off the board, scoops it out center ice. 1:45 to play, third period. Here's Reed Larson. Gare has it. Now Danny Gare plays it over the line. Checked right there. Wings have to wait for Curtin to come back on side. They took it in. Larson knocked it down at the line, trying to get loose with it. Reed Larson still digging after it. A bouncing, rolling puck, has trouble controlling it. Now Woods goes into the corner. Woods handed it back. It bounced over Gare's stick. Detroit having trouble gaining possession. It was held in at the line by Curtin. He was bowled over. Here's Pederson. Pederson lifts it back into the Detroit end. Dove out of the goal, sends it up the left side. Paul Woods pass. Knocked away. Barrett has it. 1:05 to play. Dove looking at the Detroit bench. Play goes deep into the Boston zone. The Wings have not made a move to lift their goaltender. Good thing they didn't, because here are two of the Bruins. That's Kasper out in front with a shot and scores. Puck ends up in the net, and that's three rather peculiar goals for Boston today. That's the difference in the hockey game.
Well, Kasper made a good play. He deked around Greg Smith, but now watch how weak the shot. He misfired on the shot, and the goal, Crowder was right in the goal crease with Bob Sauvé. Bob couldn't make a play on the puck at all. Kasper misfires. Now look where he is. He's standing right in the crease with the goaltender. The puck hit his pad. He was sideways to the shot. Hit his pad and rolled in the corner, but that puts the icing on the cake. 5-3 now, Bruins, with just 49 seconds to go.
So Kasper, I guess, gets the goal at 19:11. That makes it now 5-3. Crowder was right in front of the Detroit goaltender. He couldn't move, but he must have been knocked into the goal. Play in the Detroit zone. Here's Osborne coming back. 28 seconds to play in the game. Osborne picks up the loose puck, left it there. McKechnie, a backhand shot. Barron kicks that out. Bruins come down 3-on-1 up the right side. Crowder fakes the shot, hands it off, and what a save Sauvé made, as Kasper was right in on top of him. Big save by Sauvé. 5 seconds in the period. And McKechnie didn't get it out. Burke drives the shot, and Sauvé has got one as the buzzer goes to end the hockey game.
Well, they just deserted Bob Sauvé in the last minute. He come up with 2 or 3 big saves. Everybody just hoping the whistle would blow to end the game, but Bob Sauvé having to make key saves to keep the score at 5-3.
I can only guess that Crowder must have been shoved into the goal mouth. Otherwise, that last goal would not have been allowed. But indeed it was. So in the third period, the Bruins and the Red Wings each score 2 goals, so Boston skates off with a 5-3 victory. Well, we pick a Red Wing player of the game, and there he is, Bob Sauvé, our CompuWare player of the game.
Sometimes, in business, as in life, you need a little extra help to beat the goals you have set. Due to the size of the job, or to beat a tight schedule, the CompuWare team is there to help you with your data processing needs. From systems or application software to mini computer systems, or the professional development of your staff, CompuWare can assist you in meeting your goals. Check us out. We're the logical alternative.
Guess what I got, Harry?
hoof and mouth disease?
No, I bought an Entertainment 82 coupon book. It saves you up to 50% on almost anything you want.
I want a pizza.
It's in the book.
Dinner at a French restaurant?
It's in the book.
Movies, theater, ball games?
In the book.
Entertainment 82 gives you hundreds of money-saving 2-for-1 coupons. Use it twice, and it can more than pay for itself.
The Bolshevik Ballet.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Entertainment 82, $50.95 at Sears Watch Repair.
Well, it's kind of difficult to explain, Sid Abel. The Detroit Red Wings lost by 2 goals. They were outshot 44-27, 16-13 in that final period. And yet I thought this was one of their better performances of the season. It was up and down hockey. They had their chances. In the the third period particularly, both of the goals were a little peculiar. McNab didn't even know he had a goal until it bounced in off of him. Kasper coming down, completely fanned on the shot, and it ended up behind the goal with another Boston player tangled up with a Detroit goaltender. In the second period, the goal that was scored by Kasper was one that took a crazy bounce up into the air and landed out in front of the Boston goal. So the Wings, I thought, have nothing to be ashamed of in this hockey game.
Well, Billy Day asked that the team come out and perform to the best of their ability, and I would say that they did that. I have no doubt in my mind that Boston deserved to win the hockey game. They carried the play more than Detroit did. They did most of the bumping during the entire game. But the Wings did have their chances, too, although Boston, with the 44 shots, proved that Bob Sauvé had to be sharp. And Bob Sauvé played a real good hockey game for the Wings and deserved to be your CompuWare star of the game. But I thought it was an honest effort by all the Wings. Billy Day, of course, only his second game behind the bench, pretty well going with the way, I guess, Wayne Maxner had the lines working, but he did mix lines up a little bit as the game went on. He had Danny Gare play on several combinations. He changed Walt McKechnie back and forth from center ice to different lines. And I thought, overall, a good job by Billy Day and a good job in preparing the team for today, because it was very easy for the Wings to come in here, Bruce, and just throw the towel in and be blown out of the rink. It's happened before. They've got nowhere to go, and Boston's fighting for second place, so they have reason to come out and
moves into second place
right.
over Buffalo with a victory here today.
But
I think
Wings,
a couple of things we could
right.
point out, just excuse me for a second, is that Jim Schoenfeld remains on the injured list with those strained ligaments of his left knee, and that may or may not keep him out the rest of the season, but they sorely miss his play back along the Detroit defense. The other is the fact that Bob Sauvé is being pressed into service game after game, not because Gilles Gilbert has been playing that poorly, but because he has a rash that they just cannot find a cure for.
Right.
And it is something that is really hurting him and bothering him, even to the point that he does not come out and sit on the bench during the games. He remains in the dressing room with a cold towel around the rash area, which is all the way up to his neck now. And so he is in great discomfort, and the fact that some of it even breaks open, he cannot play effectively. So that's the reason that he is not playing, and the Wings really are going with one goaltender.
You know, and this type of rash hit some of the National League players back to the days of Gordie Howe and Alec Delvecchio. I recall they thought possibly it was the dye out of the gloves and that they wore. Then there was a player, and I think his name was Reed, that played
Tom
for
Reed
Minnesota.
of Minnesota.
He had to retire because of the rash that they couldn't clear up. And I know that the trainer spent a great deal of time trying to figure out, was it the detergent in the laundromat with it taking care of their underwear and things like that. They have tried so many different things to cure this, but haven't been able to come up with anything. And Gilles has been in really
misery
because of it. This was a good hockey game, though, Bruce, all the way along. And the Bruins are a tough club. I thought the Wings, even though we haven't won a game in here since 1976, December the 12th. So that goes through a lot of coaches and a lot of managers. I give Billy Day credit for preparing this club on such a short notice and not being blown out of the rink. They put up a good performance.
I was pleased to see them come out in the third period and play indeed as well as they did. Well, we took a brief pause in our first intermission to ask you a trivia question. We were supposed to take one in the third period to get the answer. We didn't have the time, but we do right now. So let's pause that you might hear what it is.
Tonight's trivia question is, the last of the 3 times the Red Wings dealt Terry Sawchuk away, who did they acquire? During the 1969 off-season, the Red Wings traded Terry Sawchuk and Sandy Snow to the New York Rangers for forward Larry Jeffrey. Suffering a preseason injury, Jeffrey would never play another NHL regular season game. The trivia question is brought to you by WLLZ-FM 98.7 Detroit's Wheels.
We are still here at the Boston Gardens as the Zamboni machine does its work. And we have the answer to the trivia question, which you may or may not have had right. We now are going to get an answer to our shootout as we're going into the second shootout of today with Mark Curtin and Willie Huber standing by and Bud Lynch and Mickey Redmond. Let's take a check on that.
Shootout with Bud Lynch and Mickey Redmond.
When the series started, Mickey, there were 16 players and 2 netminders. 2 tired goalies are still left. 3 players no one in, and now a decision among 2 more players.
Well, we've got Huber and Curtin going in this round, Bud, and that'll only leave, with 1 winner there, it'll only leave 4 guys left in the competition. The goaltenders have been playing very well, and there's a possibility here that we may have 2 defensemen. If Huber can beat Curtin in this one, 2 defensemen left with 2 forwards in the semifinals.
Very interesting from the standpoint. You can see that if Huber should win, that means there'll be 2 defensemen, 2 forwards, as Mickey said. But most important of all, it's Mark Curtin going against Willie Huber in this, the final quarter round.
Curtin taking his time, Bud, on these shots, making sure he gets control of the puck after the pass. Hasn't hit any targets yet. And he's starting to go for other targets now. He spent 3 shots at the bottom right-hand corner, it looked like, and missed them. Tough start for Mark Curtin.
Is that a tendency when you get tiring, you start aiming for the low ones, and then you try the uppers?
Well, I think they like to get those lower ones there. It should be easier to get to start off with, but unfortunately for Curtin, he didn't get any of them. He's got some ground to make up. Nothing on the passes. 10-point bonus for this goal if he can get it by McAuliffe. And a good save by McAuliffe.
Beats him.
So no points yet for Mark Curtin.
Mark Curtin eliminated Reed Larson in the initial round.
This really leaves the door open for Willie Huber if Curtin doesn't get a good number of goals here with these 5 penalty shots coming up.
Corrado McAuliffe. Glove save.
Look what I got. I think he shot it right into his trapper, but
cherry picking. Right at the pads.
Missed the net on that one. Curtin yet with no points. There's a deke. Another good poke check by McAuliffe.
I can hear Mark Curtin say, I'm a defensive center iceman anyway.
He
and hits the goal
a little
post.
frustrated and just let the slap shot go on the last shot. But, boy, we've seen a lot of poke checking on the part of the goaltenders in this competition. But
I'll tell you, the challenge there, those goalkeepers, Gilbert and McAuliffe, have made sure that they don't have any extra room for that player coming in.
Well, you see, there it is right there. The players choose to go in really close to the goaltender, and 9 out of 10 times those goalies are going to throw that big goal stick out there and try to knock it off your stick, as McAuliffe did there to Mark Curtin.
Well, Willie Huber eliminated Greg Smith earlier, so the tall boy out there right now, 6'5", trying to find a target.
If he can get 2 targets, Bud, he should win the competition. Or wouldn't this be something if it was a 0-0 tie? Well, that's the end of that.
He could be penalized for slow skating, shall we say.
That's the only thing he's got to worry about now, is that if he takes over 30 seconds to run the obstacle course, he could be penalized to 5 points, which would put him back again. And the time is very important, again, as a 5-point bonus for the quickest time in the obstacle course. There's a good pass by Huber, and that should just about do it, I would imagine.
Now going in on a 5'8" netminder, what would you do? Shoot?
Deke, and he missed it. Well, we really haven't got a definite winner yet. Huber with the 1 target and the 1 pass hitting the target, so he's got 10 points. And as we mentioned, the time of the obstacle course still up in the air. 5-point bonus for that. There's
on the ice.
Huber. That should do it. Huber with 15 points.
The competition between the 2 netminders is going to be something when we get the final tabulation, too, going to the semis.
They're very close, but no question about it. There's Huber. That'll wrap it up for him. Even if he goes over the 30 seconds and gets docked 5 points, he should be the winner here. Another goal. Good high shot to the
over the glove side.
No,
it's the stick side he's shooting now.
Yeah.
Well, as we said, or you said, what did you say you said at the start? 2 defensemen, 2 forwards.
That's what we have. There's the deke by Huber. He went to the forehand and had McAuliffe down, sliding over to his left, and he slid it underneath him. That was the winning goal. There you see your score, 25-5. Willie Huber the winner.
Mark Curtin eliminated Reed Larson. Willie Huber took care of Greg Smith. And down at ice level, Al Blade.
Okay, we're back with a couple of first-round winners, Mark Curtin and Willie Huber. And, Mark, you had one of the highest scores in the first round of 35 points. You got 5 points this round, if you didn't know that or not, because you didn't get any targets or goals. But what happened?
Well, I don't know. A drill like this, you pretty well gotta get some composure going, tempo going off the bat, and I didn't. I missed those 4 targets, and it was all uphill from there. But the big guy shot well, so what can I say?
Willie, what was your plan of attack on McAuliffe?
Well, I knew if I could get some targets, I'd have the advantage on a little peanut here, but Paul Corrado, I couldn't beat him in the first time, but this time I tried to fake the left and shoot to the right, and consequently working and scored 3 times now.
Okay, Willie, congratulations. We'll see you in the next round.
Thanks a lot, Al.
Okay, our winner, Willie Huber. Now back to Bud and Mickey.
Into the semifinals with Jolly against Woods.
Well, you can see what they're doing here at the Boston Gardens, getting things ready for basketball, I guess it is.
No, college hockey.
College hockey tonight, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right.
And then they go from there to basketball tomorrow afternoon, the Celtics. And then the Bruins play here again tomorrow night. So it is indeed a busy 24, 36 hours for the Boston Gardens crew. It's kind of a busy time for us, too. I guess I could make an explanation to you. The fact that this game started at 20 minutes past 1 o'clock this afternoon. The normal hockey game takes, I'm going to say, in the vicinity of 2.5 hours to play, 2 hours and 15, 20 minutes if there aren't too many interruptions. Today's game took less than 2 hours. There were only 3 minor penalties. They all went to Detroit. The goals were scored. Bang, they were back at center ice, carrying the play back in again. We didn't have a whole lot of offsides or icing. So everything considered, it's just been the sort of a season we've had where nothing seems to fit into your plans.
Well, there were only 3 penalties. There could have been a lot more called, Bruce. I think both teams got away with highway murder at times. They were hooking and grabbing and pulling people down. But Dennis Morrell decided to let the players settle it themselves. And surprising the fact that you wouldn't think that a Boston club, they're known as the grinders that really run over top of you rather than go around. It's kind of a surprise to think that they could play 60 minutes of hockey and not get 1 single penalty. They deserve some, too, there's no doubt about it. Detroit only got the 3. Huber got 1 in the first period for hooking. Nolan for interference at 13:09. And then Barrett here in the last period, 17:30, or in the second period, 17:34. So the goals, 1 goal was scored because of the penalty. Pederson scored the opening goal for Boston when Nolan was off. So just 1 power play goal.
We're going to have an opportunity, I understand, to take a look at the third period goals in a moment or two. The 2 Boston goals were goals that, well, they go right into the board and win a hockey game for you. But they were both of the bouncing and peculiar variety. The Red Wings scored there, too, and the 3 goals that were scored, the first 3 in the third period, Osborne scored at 7:05, then McNab 24 seconds later, and then Danny Gare scored just 18 seconds after McNab had. So the 3 goals came within a period of 43 seconds, and the final goal scored by Kasper, with the Wings doing the pressing inside the Boston zone. They were caught well up ice, and Kasper scored on a goal and a shot in which he actually fanned on. But the Red Wing goaltender, Bob Sauvé, who played an outstanding hockey game, was all tied up in the net and couldn't do anything. And we'll take a look at those in a moment or two. Right now, before we get into that, we're going to pause that you might watch this.
If your car was built when gas was 60 cents, you could be in serious trouble.
Hey, wasn't you in here yesterday?
But right now, American Motors wants to save you money on the new car you need. Until March 31st, American Motors will give you up to $800 over dealer trade-in for your car. And the older it is, the more it's worth. We'll even help if you don't have a trade, because American Motors wants you to have a new car.
Intermission guests on Red Wing Hockey will receive a Panasonic radio cassette player, compliments of Ed Ray Sound Center on Carlisle in Dearborn, and a handsome knit shirt and sweater ensemble from Puritan, American standard for quality in men's sportswear. Available at fine stores everywhere. Ask for it by name.
Sid, a former Atlanta hockey player. I guess he was in Kansas City with you. A very literate young man who is a linguist who, well, speaks, I'm trying to think he speaks Japanese. I think he does.
Yes, and Russian.
And Russian.
Fluently.
Kurt Bennett, whose father was in hockey circles for quite a period of time. He's a very interesting young man.
Yes, and his father was a goaltender way back when I first started playing pro hockey. And, of course, I met Kurt when I was over managing the St. Louis Blues. He was one of our players and a very, very articulate young man. Tall, had a little problem skating, and then found out that maybe the National League just wasn't meant to be for him. So Kurt and his brother both went over to Japan, and I think he got into coaching. I know he arranged to have this film that you're going to watch documented and everything, and he sent it over to me and asked that if we could use it, go ahead and show it to the people how hockey is played and how they, I guess, get ready for a game in Japan. So it's a very interesting segment of hockey in Japan. And we had a player, Bruce, that belonged, when I was manager of the Wings, and I'm trying to think of his name. Mel Wakabashi, I think it was.
Yes,
he was from Chatham, Ontario. He's over there playing, too, so possibly he's in the film. I haven't seen the film.
But actually, the funny part of it is when it came in unasked for, right. Delivered to Sid, and he and I laughed about it. What would anybody want to see? Japanese hockey players, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then when indeed it was screened, it turned out to be extremely interesting. If you watched it between the second and third periods, I think perhaps, I guess between the first and second period, as I remember, perhaps you'll agree with us. And so that you might see a little more of it, and so that we can tell you that we're going to be back here anyway. We're going to take a moment right now that you might, again, find out how they play this game of hockey in Japan.
Believe it or not, ice hockey flourishes in the Far East. Japan, China, and Korea all have hockey programs. This is action from the Japan Ice Hockey League. Similar to our old NHL, the league has 6 teams from around the country. Hockey isn't brand new here either. The Japan Ice Federation was set up over 50 years ago in 1930. Since the 1972 Olympics in Sapporo, hockey has become increasingly popular, and Japanese teams have imported 2 foreigners to improve the level of play. Among the recruits are former NHL players. They've had to adapt to a very different Japanese culture. Gary Monahan played 11 seasons in the NHL. He's now in his 3rd season in Japan.
Well, here we go usually 2 hours on the ice in the morning, and then in the afternoon we'll go an hour or so, what they call taiso. It's a little running, a little weight training, and some stretching exercises. So it's really two a day. And most of the guys live at a dormitory, so they eat 3 meals a day together, sleep together. It's really a full-time operation.
Gary's teammate, Ted McNally, is a former NHL defenseman, also in his 3rd season. He feels the Japanese veneration of age and what is called the senpai-kohai system inhibits Japanese hockey.
But over here it seems that with this senpai-kohai system that the young players are stepped on and they just really can't progress as fast as an athlete should, in my opinion.
Another former NHLer, Harvey Bennett, notes the cultural influence on the level of violence in the game.
There's no fighting over here. They play a clean game. There's a little stick play, but not too much. If there's a rough play in the corner, each guy will bow to each other and say, "Simasen," which means "excuse me." And there's no constant warfare. If there's a hard check thrown against somebody, back home you'll expect someone to come and get back at that guy. Whereas here it's let go.
Herb Wakabayashi grew up in Canada playing hockey and was an All-American center for Boston University in 1968. Then he came to Japan to help their hockey program. He says that the North American influence has helped Japanese hockey.
I think a lot of it is the North American influence. Again, we've had Canadian imports, and as yourself coming from the U.S., each team has now 2 imports, and it was never like that before. And I think it certainly has developed the game here, and people are really starting to catch on to it.
The game of hockey is the same, but the Japanese culture is a learning experience for North Americans.
when I got into the old fulo, as they call it, which is the Japanese bath, we're all in there together. One of the younger players started to wash my back, and I was quite surprised. But I learned afterwards that the younger players have to wash the older players' backs, and so I'm getting to enjoy that.
Everything's done in a group. They feel comfortable in a group, and for anybody to step outside of that group, it's a no-no, really. It's like, oh, if you step outside of the group, it's like a nail popping up, you get hammered down.
Yesterday, I thought after a little episode, I didn't think the referee was going to come and get me. I thought the police were.
If you are a hockey fan, you'll be glad to know the game thrives the world over. And no matter how different the culture, the thrill of scoring a goal translates into any language. From Tokyo, Japan, I'm Kurt Bennett for Japanese Hockey.
Well, let's see. We still have 11 minutes. Now let's go to China and see how they want to do that. No, we had a pretty good hockey game right here at the Boston Gardens this afternoon. The Red Wings were outshot 13-5 in the first period, 15-9 in the second, 16-13 in the third. 44 shots Boston total, 27 for the Detroit Red Wings. But really the game was a much better hockey game than that would indicate. And the Wings were in it right to the last.
Well, the Wings were definitely in it until the Kasper goal at 19:11. They were within one and had a couple of licks where they could have possibly tied it up. But both goaltenders, I think, played well. Of course, Sauvé made many, many more saves than did Barron for Boston. But it was a good up-and-down hockey game. And as we mentioned earlier, very few penalties, very few icing calls, very few offsides. And yet it was spicy enough because there were a lot of people knocked down and a referee that decided to let the rough stuff go and the grabbing and clutching and whatnot. And he just let everything go, but he still saw fit to call 3 penalties in the game, and all 3 were against Detroit, which is kind of a surprise.
One of them paying off in a power play goal, the first goal of the hockey game, scored by the Boston Bruins. Well, I think we're going to have an opportunity right now to take a look at all of the goals scored in this hockey game. And Sid, this is Ray Bourque starting a play for Boston in the Detroit zone.
Right, and comes across. Now this is Brad Park shooting, and he hits the post dead on, and the puck bounced off the post right in behind Greg Smith. Bob Sauvé doesn't realize where it is, and young Pederson, an outstanding rookie, comes in and just jabs at it, puts it in the net before Bob could recover. And by the way, Pederson has set all records here as a rookie for goals and points, the Boston Bruins.
That's a good play that possibly could have been whistled down. The puck lay under Smith for quite a period of time, but it wasn't, and Pederson got the only goal of the first period.
It was a play, Bruce, that could have been called back because there was a real bad check by Greg Smith to let the play get in there. Now here's Eric Vale. He makes a real fine play here. He just about loses possession as he dekes by Park, but he retrieves the puck again, passes it across right in front of Blaisdell, and Derek Smith gets it, loses it partially, then just flips it up over the left elbow of the goaltender, Mark Barron, and puts the Wings back at 1-1.
That was at 6 minutes and 36 seconds of the period. But the tie hockey game lasted a little less than 2 minutes. It was 8:33 when Marcotte, being checked here by Larson, and I think it's Jolly out in front, that tipped the puck. You couldn't blame him.
It still goes up in the air. I don't know if it went off a stick. Now, Bob is looking around Sauvé for it, and look how it drops and sits right there for Kasper coming in. And by the way, he was the #1 star of the game. I could even score goals like that if they're sitting there with the goaltender off the other side. But Kasper, an outstanding young second-year player that they have.
Well, that made it 2-1 Boston. It was at 12:56 that it was really a devastating check out in the center ice area handed to
Danny Gare.
Danny Gare, and then the Bruins just picked up the puck and moved in. You couldn't see the check, but here they come.
Now, here's a case where the Wings did get mixed up, and the last man back was Walter McKechnie, and he seemed to turn the wrong way, and Crowder just broke in. He was in the clear from the blue line, and he made no mistake on it. The only assist was given to Hillier on the play, and I guess he's the one that actually knocked Gare out of the play.
So it ended as a 3-1 lead for the Boston Bruins over the Red Wings going into the third period. Detroit has not been strong in the third period. They were today.
Yes, now McKechnie makes a fine play across to Osborne here, and if you watch, Osborne takes his shot on the backhand, doesn't get too much on it, and maybe this is a rookie goaltender for you. He kicks it right back out to him, and Osborne, following his own play up, back on his forehand, just swishes along the ice on the long side, and that put the Wings back in at the 7:05 mark, 3-2.
Now a crazy sort of a goal. Watch this. At 7:29, McKechnie has the puck in his own end.
Now, this has to be a mistake by Walter McKechnie. He was trying to pass it across to somebody, and that is McNab reaching out. Now, he must have deflected the puck, Bruce, because the puck went back to the net, and it went in the net, and McNab got an unassisted goal, and he was really smiling and laughing because you don't get goals like that. He was more or less caught out of the play and turned around and just deflected a pass that was going across. I think Walter was trying to hit Jody Gage way over along the boards. And
I wasn't sure whether it went in off his stick or his leg. It was a legal goal either way, no argument, but he certainly wasn't looking for it, and bang, it was there, and he was more surprised than anybody else. And that came just 24 seconds after Osborne had put the Wings right back into it. So now it's 4-2, but the Wings came right back. Curtin made the play
now
here.
Curtin with the puck deep in Boston zone finds Danny Gare out in the slot, and Danny Gare from in the middle of the circle. The minute the puck come to him, he got away, and he had no trouble beating Barron over on the long side, and the Wings are right back in it again, 4-3.
That game at 7:48, that was just 19 seconds after McNab had scored. And the Wings had scoring chances after that, but here it was with only 49 seconds to play in the hockey game. Ray Bork bringing the play into the Detroit end.
Now, the play here, the big play, is right there. Greg Smith falls, and this is Kasper on his backhand, and he misses the puck. But look at number 18 actually in the crease. That's Crowder, and he had Bob Sauvé right out of the play. Now, Crowder didn't even draw an assist on the play, but I would say that he was instrumental in them scoring because Bob Sauvé never got turned around. He was sideways to the play. Kasper, in trying to shoot, misfired on it and just rolled along. You could read the label on the puck as it went in, but they all count. And
the picture did not show Crowder being shoved into the goal crease.
No,
so
it didn't.
Whether or not he was is academic because the Wings lost by 2 anyway. But Detroit did come out and play well in the third period, something they have not been doing. They take now at least 4 days to work out for the St. Louis Blues, who'll be coming into the Joe Louis Arena next Thursday night. That'll be their next game. We'll be with you on radio WJR for that one. And we'll be right back here at the Boston Garden after we pause for this.
Monday through Friday at midnight, laugh at Laurel and Hardy and the Three Stooges on Comedy Classics.
Another nice mess you've gotten me into.
A wise guy, eh? How do you like that?
Why, you...
Join the Sweat Hogs for Welcome Back, Cotter.
Oh! We're trying to teach you not to ootin' unless it's important.
Cough! Cough! How long have you had this cough?
16 stones to break my bones, but names will never hurt.
You see it? You see what's waving from that flagpole? Is it Old Glory? No. Is it the school flag? No. It's Miss Fishback.
Welcome Back, Cotter. Weeknights at 7 on TV 50.
The Detroit Red Wings opened up this season October 6th with a game at Madison Square Garden, New York, and they beat the Rangers in that hockey game. But since that time, they've played 36 more, and believe it or not, have won only 4 of those 36 games, have lost 26 of them, tied another 6. That's 16 of a possible 74 points on the road this season, and that, I guess, is the reason, really, as much or more than anything else, that Detroit is indeed out of playoff contention right now, and they have lost their last 9 games in a row. Their last victory at Colorado, February 23rd. Their next try against the St. Louis Blues next Thursday night at the Joe Louis Arena. Our next telecast, Wednesday the 24th, will be in Chicago, 8:30 television time, right here on TV 50. Bruce Martin for Sid Abel and Toby Cunningham. Final score, Boston 5, Detroit 3.
This has been Red Wing Hockey. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by American Motors and your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep Renault dealers, featuring all new 2-wheel, 4-wheel, and front-wheel drive cars for 1982. And by Little Caesars, where you get 2 delicious pizzas for just 1 price. Look for one of Little Caesars' 135 locations in Metro Detroit. And by Michigan National Corporation Banks, with over 450 locations statewide. And by High Grade Food Products Corporation, makers of Ballpark Franks, the Franks that plump when you cook them, West Virginia brand ham, bacon and sausage, and Grillmaster Chicken Franks. This has been a production of the Detroit Hockey Club and TV 50.